Going live, finally. Hey guys. My lights aren't on. Hang on. We don't need to see, right guys? We can read completely in the dark. Oof. Hi, can everybody see and or hear me? One of the two would be nice at least. Hello, hello, hello. Yes. Reading in complete darkness for the win. You know, you could do it. Oh, hang on. I gotta get my hair back, and I gotta get this up here so I can actually see what I'm doing. Out of curiosity, is the top-down camera working? I feel like, you know, on Price is Right, where it's like, oh, mighty sound effects lady, do we have 2 numbers right? And then they're like, no, and it's like, ah! Like, can I have both things working simultaneously? Is that too much to ask? It usually is. Okay, that's to that. I love playing the game of which chord goes to what thing that I need. This chord. This chord goes to the thing that I need. How was everybody's weekend? I've developed the technique of my cat, which is every time I am stressed, I simply just yell at life. Hey Jay, hey Hale, hey Basilius, hey Texas, hey Laser, hey guys, hey everybody in chat that I can't see, welcome. Very, very glad to see you here. Trying to get my top-down camera working. Also, I need to... It is almost 9 o'clock. We are doing a late night tonight. Texas, I saw you say that you hadn't finished the last twofer stream. Hey, Boots. Hey, guys. Hey, Patrick. Oh, I'm gonna be so weirded out if I ever get to that episode. Thanks, Jay. I'm in my pajamas because today has been a Sunday. If there ever was one. Hang on, guys. If I freeze for 2 seconds, don't be alarmed. I'm just adjusting something. Should be good. Are we good? Oh, wow. How did that possibly get that messed up? Let's see. The desk camera, I'd like it to actually be able to just see the desk. Whoa, almost pulled it off the desk. And there we go. We're gonna say that is good enough for tonight. Aha! It's 1:51 a.m. in UK. Insomnia is a bitch. I'm sorry you have insomnia. I'm glad that we can keep you company, though. I am grateful for all of you being here. I wanted to stream. I only wanted to take 1 night off of streaming this week, and I ended up taking, what, 4? Because I got behind on editing work, client work, and I'm starting this new really big project that I'm going to be working on for a little while on top of all my regular videos. So there's just been a lot going on in the background, and I didn't have time. Oh yeah, and also I got kicked off the family insurance plan because 26 birthdays are great in America, so, you know, dealing with insurance things is also taking up some time. Turn it off, I swear I only get 10 minutes at a time on the... You're good, Texas. Thank you for watching back. Hey, Sammy. I'm good. How are you? If you like your new stuff, I love my new stuff, guys. If you haven't seen my post on the newest stuff that we got a ton of stuff at the P.O. Box the last time I went. It was so sweet. Thank you, guys. I, like, went on Tuesday or Monday, and then there was, like, 8 more packages when I went back on Friday, and I was like, you guys... Most are behind on everything. It's the holiday, too. Like, coming back from the holiday, I just feel like I spend the first 2 weeks of every new year just trying to get caught back up. Oh, I don't know if anybody can read my notes. The big project that I'm working on is a Sailor Moon deep dives. So I've got pages upon pages upon pages of notes already of Sailor Moon. I'm good, thanks. Have you seen Velma yet? Ultimate Strange content for the win. I've seriously considered doing a video about it because I have not seen it yet, but I've heard that it's not good. I've heard a lot of really disappointed fans speaking out. I haven't seen it, but I can imagine. On the bright side, at least, weather isn't New Year's weather. It's Halloween weather. That's good. You could play Velma. I would love to play Velma one day. Don't mind the very non-aesthetic protein shake that I'm drinking. I'll go get an actual drink in a second. If you can't tell how, like, on a whim this stream was, I was just like, screw it. I'm waiting for some things to render out. I've got a couple time. I also, now that I'm a Goodreads librarian, I have all this, feels like I have phenomenal cosmic power. I'm just like, I went through, I logged that book that we were trying to get logged, so it's finally in the catalog. And then I also went through and, like, for the Scooby Doo books especially, they're so obscure that, like, some of them were missing covers for the, like, I think we technically had logged on my Goodreads, I had logged the, this is the one that we read last time. I had logged the, what am I trying to say? Audiobook version, because it was the only one that had a cover. So I went in, I, like, added covers with my copy. I added the little back write-up because they didn't have it on some of them. So I've just been going through fixing the records for the obscure stuff that we cover. Listen back to myself recording Nancy Drew audiobook. Oh god. Everybody says oh god when they hear their voice for the first time. If it makes you feel any better, you just get used to it. I can't believe. There's you have no you have no idea. That is not even the strangest thing. Again, not my Grandma Judy, not who lives with us. Grandma Judy is wonderful. We love her. This is a strange family. You know how it is. Hey Daniel. Impromptu live. Yeah, it's an impromptu live. Usually you get one when I populate it and when I post it, and this time I just went live. We're gonna see. I'm making sure that I have these all in the right order. Last time we read Headless Henry singing Ghost. Right, so these are the next two. Want to make sure I wasn't what am I trying to say? Skipping. That's the word I was trying to say. We're not skipping over anything. Yeah, I mean, I made Nancy's ballet teacher sound like Julia Child. I love it. They could loot places when no one was looking. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Some people are just... This light had died, and I thought I had to change the bulb, and then it just came on 10 minutes before I went on stream, and I was like, okay, thanks Tech Ghost for handing me that one. Yeah, I know. I don't usually, you know. This channel is my safe space, so I don't like to spend too much time. Oh, you guys can't even see the top down. Let's fix that. Talking about people that make me angry, but you know I get very angry when people are not educated on certain political topics. Anyway. George sound like a Southern Belle. Maybe she is. I mean, we don't know. California Diaries this week. I think we'll probably keep up with California Diaries. We'll do some more California Diaries this week. I also have a ton of Nancy Drew stuff. Like, a ton. Like, I had, my grandfather was really sweet and sent me, money for Christmas, and I was like, I'm gonna get a bunch of Nancy Drew books that I need for the collection with, that I've been looking for forever at, like, one of my favorite, secondhand bookshops, and they're all wonderful, and they're in wonderful condition, and they just look great. I'm so excited. It's in costume. Definitely. Yeah, probably. I guess we have had technology a couple of times. We haven't had any supernatural things. But yeah, let's read the Case of the Glowing Alien. Case of the Glowing Alien. It's your chance to solve the mystery. Meet Scooby Doo and the gang at Pizza Parlor right away. They want to tell you what happened when they came face to face with a green glowing alien at High Point Park's grand opening celebrations. Was it really an invasion from outer space? Probably not. Or does someone want to scare people away from the park? Anybody who likes history and has a penchant for like spooky season things, kind of like I do, watch Stephanie Harlow's video that she made, I believe this past October, on the War of the Worlds situation. That was wonderful. I had a lot of fun watching that. It was so entertaining. I had it on while I was editing. Give me the meddling kids and I'll be satisfied. I don't think we're gonna get meddling kids in this one. I think they've already made that decision, unfortunately. Clue Crew next, please. I'm not sure which Nancy Drew we'll do next, but we will do Clue Crew and Notebooks at some point. There's a lot. There's much Nancy Drew to choose from. I'm sure we'll do a Goosebumps this week. Assuming nothing happens to prevent me from streaming as much as I wanted to, like this week. I wanted to stream all week this week. It didn't happen. Oh well. By the way, we're over 5,700 subscribers, you guys, and that is amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. It truly means the world. It's wonderful. I am just so blown away by where this channel has come in a couple of short years, and it's very, very encouraging. Sorry, I was just making sure that they didn't take Goat Boy video, Krampus video down again because I was about to rage. Anyway. You deserve that much subscribers. Thank you, Sammy. Somewhere around 3K subs when I showed up. That sounds about right. It was, I remember it was 3K like late August, September we were at 3K. Because I remember in the Beauty and the Beast, the Christian Beauty and the Beast video, I say at the beginning of that, there's 3,000 of you, meaning subscribers. Congrats on getting over 5K. Thank you. I'm so excited. We got to 4K, and then we got to 5K, like, really quickly after that. Glad to have found your channel. I'm glad you're here, Sammy. We're glad to have you. Videos. You had 12... You've been here since 12 subscribers, Patrick? That's amazing. I didn't realize you were there. I was there when you had like 1,500 subscribers. Yeah. Yeah, that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? Welcome to Pooh Corner. That's right. That's right. Oh yeah, those early videos were published. Like, I would just publish them and be like, oh boy, we got 10 views. Which, by the way, if you're a YouTuber and you're there now, it will grow. Because I thought it wouldn't grow either. I remember just genuinely being like, whew, somebody watched this. It will get bigger, and your audience does very much care about the work that you do, and it's valid. It really is. Plant Daddy stream was your first. Oh my god! And you stuck around. You didn't go like, who are these crazy people? I'm almost at 50. I saw that, Daniel. Congratulations, everybody who hasn't subscribed to Daniel. Go do so, especially if you like this kind of stuff that we talk about here. Daniel focuses on a lot of out of the box, obviously, but, you know, Disney stuff, kind of like late 90s, early 2000 is kind of your favorite, right, Daniel? There when I stumbled in here first. On the Twist video when it uploaded, not even a year ago. My first Round the Twist video was 2 years ago, actually. It was September. It was one of the first ones I filmed in here. It was like September of 2020. But yeah, I remember misfiring saying, hey, there's this show that's really popular in Australia. If you cover it, a bunch of Australians will start watching your channel. And then a bunch of people from Australia did start watching the channel. We're glad to have you here. Didn't get scared away by Plant Daddy. I was already messed up in the head before that. Aren't we all? I focus on neglected nostalgia from late 90s, early 2000s. Yes, it is a very, very good channel. One of my favorite YouTubers. Oh, thank you. I need to do more Pooh Bear stuff. I refuse to have the next Pooh Bear thing I do be Blood and Honey. I'm gonna cover Blood and Honey, but I'd like to cover like normal Winnie the Pooh again. With no uploads? How? I mean, the playlist, if you're posting the playlist and cataloging, that's, you know, a valuable resource. It's a valuable resource to me. There's a couple of channels on here, like the Random Archive, that I use as a resource when I'm trying to find things to cover. Blood and Honey. Hale, yes, they're making, because Winnie the Pooh went into the public domain in, I think it's worldwide. I think it's just in Canada or North America. I can't remember. But anyway, in the public domain, so somebody made like a kind of low budget Winnie the Pooh slasher movie, and it looks awful. And this is something that, like, I'm known for, I love Winnie the Pooh, I always have, and so when this happened, everybody was messaging me being like, you're gonna talk about this, right? I was like, do we want to talk about this? And everybody's like, yeah. Also, shout out, my brother found this bookmark, and he thought I would appreciate it, and he thought you guys would appreciate it, so that's the bookmark we're using tonight. Let me grab my Goodreads. So many books logged on Goodreads. Did you see the Avery's Library for Nostalgic Books? It is growing. If I ever did an offshoot channel that was just about books for some reason, like I don't see any reason in the near future to do that, but if I did that, it absolutely would be Avery's Library for Nostalgic Books. Well, let's see, making sure. All right, these two books, assuming we read both of them, which is the plan. Hey, Chris, how are you? Do I want to join the club? I don't know, Hale. The way I found your channel, Avery, is I searched American reacts around the twists, and your video on reacting to the episode Skeleton on the Dunny came up. That's interesting. I'll have to look back at how I was, SEO optimizing those early videos. I didn't really know as much as I know, and I don't know a lot now about the algorithm, but you know, you just kind of naturally learn things from being on this platform for a while. I didn't know half of what I know now, so like I was just kind of like throwing in random things and being like, that should work. Ladybug has found its way into my room. I like ladybugs. They're good luck. Just got home from work. That's good. I love the feeling of like, oh, I'm finally home from work. The bookmark is awesome. Thank you. It is awesome. I didn't know that he had this. He's not the biggest book enthusiast, but he knows that we do these streams, and he sometimes is lurking in chat. So hi, Spencer. If you're lurking in chat, we appreciate you. Texarcist you. So yeah, let's start this book, Case of the Glowing Alien. This is if you guys don't know, anybody, I think everybody in chat that I'm seeing right now has been here before. Hey, Ellery. My dad had chocolate mini bunt waiting for me when I got home from work. Ooh, that's good. This particular book is from 2000. There were 24 of these, and they're all living up here because I found the whole collection on eBay for very cheap because I think I'm the only person who remembered them sometimes. These little books, they're not very long. They're just like little junior mini novels, and they are about the Scooby Doo gang solving crime, and it's a solve it with them kind of crime. I know there are some that are choose your own adventure where you can fail to solve the crime. I don't have any of those. Those came out a few years after these, and maybe after we read through all these, I'll have to go hunting them down. But these are, hi Sprout. Recently found your channel. I'm loving it. Welcome. We're glad to have you here. Thank you so much. We are about to read a Scooby Doo and You book. You probably know, even if you've spent a little bit of time on this channel, we like to talk about really obscure things a lot of the time. Mixed advanced. I would love to see how this costume, the way the costumes are pulled off, like, if the bad guys were cosplayers instead of criminals, they'd be super famous, and they'd have all the money, and they wouldn't need to do the crimes. Thinking about starting a Goodreads just so I can roast the VC Andrews Ghost Writer. It seems to be the only books I take time to review, lol. Definitely do it. It's a very like nice thing, and you can sort everything. I have mine set up so that I can see my books in like view form, like I can see them like this, like Let's see if you guys can actually see. No? No, you guys can't see. I was trying to show the, I have my books, as you've probably seen, just laid out so that I can see all the covers, but it's very nice. I'm a librarian now on there, so if you have anything, if you see any records that are missing or messed up, you can always let me know, and I'll be sure to fix it. And yeah. And plus, you can be my friend. You can friend me at Avery Talks on Goodreads if you're over there. Your room is very cute. Thank you. It is technically a closet, but I'm really grateful to have like a designated space where I can film. All right, let's get into this book since I already started late and we have two. Let's just see. Oh, good thing about I finally started remembering that I have that this is in fact a desk and that I can store stationery and things here, so I don't have to go looking for pens and paper. I just have them here. Wouldn't you? Could you believe it? Stuff where it's supposed to be. Who'd have thought? Okay. Louie's Pizza Parlor. Hey, come on over, Fred calls from across the pizza parlor. It's great to see you. You close the door to Louie's Pizza Parlor. It's warm inside and the smell of freshly baked pizza fills the place. You walk over to the big booth in the back where Fred, Velma, Daphne, Shaggy, and Scooby are sitting. Shaggy and Scooby each have a big pile of pizza crusts in front of them. They always sit like they're on a sitcom so that we can see all of them in one thing. I've never known actual people to do this. Are you ready, Scoob? Shag asks. Ready, Scooby says, smiling. Oh, they all ate without us. On the count of 3, Shaggy continues. 1, 2, wait, hold it. Shaggy looks at you. Like, do you want to join our crust crunching contest, he asks. Shaggy, we'd like to talk to our friend if you don't mind, Daphne interrupts. Gee, Daph, I was just being friendly, Shaggy replies. Okay, Scoob, where was I? Ree! Scooby exclaims. Oh gosh, Scooby. Ree! He was saying 3, by the way, for context. Let me translate for Scooby Doo. As he starts devouring the pizza crust. Hey, no fair, Shaggy yells, then he starts gobbling up the pizza crust too. Don't mind them, Velma says. They've been talking about their crust crunching contest all day. All week is more like it, Daphne adds, ever since we got back from solving our last mystery. And that was some mystery, Fred says. It was unlike anything we've ever had to solve. You're having a hard time paying attention to Fred, Daphne, and Velma because Shaggy and Scooby are crunching up a storm and bits of pizza crust are flying everywhere. Shaggy says, with a mouthful of pizza crust. What did you say? Daphne asks. Shaggy says, trying to swallow his mouthful of food. You really shouldn't talk with your mouth full, Velma lectures. It's bad for your digestion. I think he's trying to say, Fred begins. Rinish, Scooby says, licking his lips. His plate is clean and his mouth is empty. Shaggy says, still working on the food in his mouth. You smile and congratulate Scooby, giving him a pat on the head. Good boy, Scooby. Now about that mystery, Fred says. We sure could have used your help. I bet you would have been able to figure it out in no time, Velma says. Just the thought of solving a mystery brings a smile to your face. Judging by your expression, Daphne says, I think you'd love the chance to solve this mystery, right? You bet, you say. That's great, Fred says, because it just so happens that you can. This is our clue keeper for the case. Is this? I wonder, I'm not actually sure what order these came out. Somebody told me the order at one point and I completely forget because it's hard to find online. This reads very much like a first book, but I wonder if it actually is. This is our clue keeper for the case. Fred holds up a small notebook with a patterned cover. We call this case the case of the glowing alien, Fred says and hands you the notebook. We write down everything that happens to us in the clue keeper, Daphne explains. The people we meet, the clues we find, things like that. We take turns writing in the journal, Fred adds. I was the writer for this mystery. Fred, I was about to say, if we get another Daphne, I'm going to be like, no, there's no way. There's no way that's happening. For those who have not been here, there were a lot of Daphne writing the book up front. All you have to do is read our clue keeper, Velma continues. We've even added some shortcuts. Whenever you see the suspect eyes, you know you've met a suspect in the case. And whenever you see the flashlight, you've found a clue. Our clue keeper is divided into sections, Fred says. At the end of some entries, we'll ask you questions. This will help you organize the suspects and clues you find. All you need is your own clue keeper and a pen or pencil. So what do you say? Daphne asks. Are you ready? They were bullet journaling before it was popular. Before you can answer, Shaggy interrupts. So Scooby, how about 2 or 3? He asks. Roar room, Shaggy says, shaking his head and patting his belly. Shaggy then looks at you. Like, I'll bet you're up to a crust crunching contest, right? He asks. Now, Shaggy, Fred says. I think our friend has something a little more important to do, right? It's like reading my writing, like in the movie when he's reading his own book. You nod your head in excitement. Right, you exclaim. Rocky, we like Daphne. She just had a lot of books right up front. I don't know how that happened. They had work because it was raining, so we had wet floor signs. Scheduling error. Accidentally held. The day was. We had a day. We had a full week on a set that I worked on where casting just forgot to call at least one of the stand-ins that was needed every single day, so we were short every single day. One day, 3 people didn't show up because casting just forgot to give them details. Should react to an episode of the Australian children's show Fergus MacPhail. Chris Hemsworth. Oh, it's on the list. It's definitely on the list. The book covers can trigger intense nostalgia sometimes. Yes, they can. Avery's the librarian, yet she's the one. But we're in a library. No, just kidding. We're not. This library gets a little bit loud over here. Avery does Blinky Bill. It'll happen one day. I was gonna get to Blinky Bill's White Christmas this year. It didn't happen, like half the Christmas videos I wanted to make. Yeah, I'm glad the craziness is over for you, Ellery. Their equivalent of Pizza Hut. Yeah, what are they calling it? It always starts out at a restaurant. Louis Pizza Parlor. It's probably more of like a mom and pop, like a more small owned than a chain. Probably. Let's hope. Oh, Perry's crying to get in. Hang on. Well, gang, it looks like we've got another mystery on our hands. I'm gonna let Perry in real quick. You don't know yet, I have a very loud cat, and she's very persistent when she wants to come into doors. I am back, and Perry is here. Mystery Inc. We could have used your help, Marcy, and yet you consistently fail to invite me along. Yeah, because Marcy's so busy being the best teen detective, or I don't know, young detective. I think they're technically teens in this one too. Writing a cheer up Winnie the Pooh book. Go inside Blood and Honey. Yeah, Tigger is not in the public domain yet. That guy, bless him. Hi, Perry. Hi. Everybody say hi, Perry. Or don't. She gets so much attention as it is. Oh, Daphnes. We've had like 6 Daphnes. We had 8, I'm pretty sure. I think I did the math and realized that we must just get 8 for all of them. And it just so happens that even though it's evenly split up, we got like all the Daphnes first. I don't know how that happened. We have elevated her to godhood. Oh yeah, there's so many things in my list of videos, Sammy. There's just more videos to make than I have time in a day to make, so we'll see what we can... We're always trying to see what we can get to. Hey, Tartled Owl. Lee, I'm late for my stream. Open the door. Oh, yes. How could we? We couldn't do it without our host. Hi. What are you doing? Why are you always trying to snatch my glasses? Send you 3 other Wicked books on a USB. Thank you so much. There is quite a lot of Wicked. I think I've only read the first one, and it was a while ago. 2 books from Mill inspired by the Book of Boo. That's so cute. Oh, glorious one. No, don't feed her. Don't feed her ego more than it already is. Hello. Okay. All right. Clue Keeper Entry 1. Sorry, it's hard to... Perry really causes a limited mobility situation for the setup. But we love her, so she stays here. The gang and I arrived... This is Fred talking now. We're reading his Clue Keeper. The gang and I arrived at High Point Park for a bit of picnic celebrating, not panic celebrating. For a big picnic celebrating the park's opening. The park sits on top of a large hill. The park used to be an old dump. Then some people decided to volunteer their time to clean it up. A lot of people were there that afternoon enjoying the view from the observation platform. Others were playing catch on the great lawn in front of the main pavilion, and still others were there for the food. Illustrations. I like the illustrations in the book. Hi, Perry. Do you like this book? She likes when you read when she's sitting with you, because I think it's like purring. You know, I think cats think about it like that, like when they can feel your voice. Hi. She's like, don't tell me what I think. You don't know me. Hey, Cassidy. Put it to a stream. Still, how much did I miss? Not much. We just kind of got started. This was a late night stream. So like, where's the barbecue? Shaggy asked. Right over there, young man, a woman replied. It was Celia Cornwallis. She was the one who had organized all of the volunteers. Cecilia was a tall woman. Cecilia, I missed a syllable on her name. Dressed in all green. She wore a yellow scarf tied around her neck. The park... Hi, what are we doing? The park looks beautiful, Daphne said. You'd never know what used to be up here. Yes, I'm very proud of this park, Cecilia told us, but I am worried that it may not last very long. Why not? Velma asked. Since this was a volunteer effort, we need the town approval to make it an official park, Cecilia explained, but there are a lot of people who want the land to be used for other things. I'm afraid that if anything goes wrong today, one of them might just get their way. And I'll bet dollars to donuts it'll be me, said a man walking by. He stopped and joined our conversation. But don't worry, darling. I'll give you full credit. Directed by Cy Stroganoff. Cy Stroganoff, huh? Set design by Cecilia Cornwallis. And her voice, Perry, can you guys see Perry? She's just a whole mood right now. And her volunteer cleanup brigade, the man laughed. Suspect eyes. Don't laugh, Cy, Cecilia warned. You may not get your way, and if I have anything to say about it, no one will. We'll see, Cecilia, the man said. He turned to us and introduced himself. I'm Cy Stroganoff. Pleased to meet you. Can you believe that's not the strangest name we've seen in these books? Certainly not all the books, but not even this one. This series. Pleased to meet you. Cy Stroganoff, Shaggy said, like you directed Scooby's and my favorite movie, Attack of the Crazy Pizza Man. Ah, one of my early classics, Cy said. What brings you to High Point Park? I asked. I'm here to direct a movie, Cy said. This park is the perfect setting. Of course, we'll need to put in some cactus plants and tear up some of the grass. You wouldn't, Cecilia said. They would. Don't let a film crew into your house. They can and will destroy a vast majority of things, either by accident or just because, you know, they're trying to get the shot. I probably will, Cy replied, especially since the town council realizes how much money the tourism my film will bring to this place. Ah, money. Always the motivating factor. Um, Ms. Cornwallis, you don't look so well, Daphne said. Would you like some water or something? A very good idea, Cecilia said. Please excuse me. Cecilia walked away. Like, what kind of movie are you making, Mr. Stroganoff? Shaggy said. Return of the Crazy Pizza Man? No, Cy replied. It's a special movie that requires... Bye, Perry. It's a special movie that requires the unique characteristics of this beautiful park. Is it about nature, Velma asks. No, aliens, Cy said. Of course it's about aliens. With lots of special effects. We've even started running wires and things in the trees. How do you do that without a permit if it's not set in stone? They're part of our special effects, you see. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must go to the effects trailer and check on the latest version of the alien. Once Cy Stroganoff walked away, Shaggy said, like, I think Scooby and I are ready for a little barbecue. What do you say, pal? Roulette. Agreed, Scooby. You bet. You get used to it. Shaggy and Scooby walked over to the food while Daphne and Velma and I went to check out the view. All right, Velma's mystery solving tips. Hey, did you notice a suspect eyes? I sure did. Back on page 10. That was a tip that you found the first suspect. Now grab your clue keeper and answer the following questions about this suspect. What is the suspect's name? What kind of work does he do? And why is he so interested in the park? And then we write down our answers. I don't have a clue keeper. We do, but I do have a little notepad. Would commandments of a cat deity be called Catmanments? Catmanments? I love it. I can see that being a band name. Open the door when she meows or she'll spill all your drinks. Ugh. God help us. Bless Perry. I personally want to start writing my Nancy Drew Hardy Boys books because Hardy Boys are already in the public domain as of this year and as of the 1st, and then Nancy Drew will be public in 2 more years, so. Very exciting. The movie Jonathan Taylor Thomas appeared in with Chevy Chase called Man of the House. I haven't seen that. I'll look that up. Also, it's a Disney film, by the way. Copy. I will look into that. What commands of a definitely Catmanments. I like Catmanments. My guess is yeah, we haven't even figured out what the crime is yet, or what the mystery is. I like that Daphne has become much more independent in recent time. Hey guys, just joining in to chat. I see you. I appreciate you. Welcome. We're reading Scooby Doo. Well, we're reading 2 books, but we're starting with Scooby Doo in the Case of the Glowing Alien. These are the 17th and 18th books that we have read in this series. So after this, if you can believe it, we only have 6 more, and then we can say that we read all of them. All the VODs are available if you want to go back and watch those, and I'm sure we'll read them again in the future. Perry, why are you pulling all of my clothes out of the... Okay. Whatever. Fine. Fine. All right. Oh, my handwriting is worse than usual. The Case of the Glowing... Oh gosh, can I fit it? Alien. There we go. Squished it in there. This is a really uncreative title. Out of all the titles, none of them are great. Alright, in or out, Perry. But, that one's Glowing Alien. Doesn't have any flow. Attack of the Crazy Pizza Man sounds like an incredible movie title. It's a movie that I wish existed so that I could make a video about it. Do Shaggy and Scooby ever think about anything but food? How scared they are in food. That's about it. Avery finally got the Ever After High books I sent. Yes, I did. We'll see if Disney really stole from them. Probably did. Oh, I didn't even know that that was the controversy, straight up. That's cool. I mean, not cool to steal, but, you know, that's interesting. Let's see, where a pizza crust hat carve. With a pizza cutter. I don't know what Attack of the Crazy Pizza Man is about. Is he a slice of pizza, or is he a pizza delivery man? Is he a man that is made of pizza? Is the man made of pizza, or is the pizza made of man? He screams, for he does not know. Poodles McNulty, a more mind-breaking name. I would say Poodles McNulty breaks my brain personally more than Cy Stroganoff, but Cy Stroganoff, very, very fun. They've got the munchies, yes. Whoa! Come on, Barry. Just knocked like a bunch of shirts on the floor. Now I wish I could see that review. Oh my god, I would absolutely love to be able to jump in and cover some of the fake movies that get referenced in some of these books. Don't mind me, my cat knocked all my clothes down off a shelf. They are in a heap now. And they will stay like that until I can fix it. Oh dear. Perry? What did you do, Perry? Oh god. Perry, I don't have time to fold all these back up now. They're just gonna have to stay in a heap. I just thought of Beatrice Hotchkiss from that one Nancy Drew game, Treasure in the Royal Tower. Remember when she's like, I fear it'll all come crashing down in a heap. Alright. Ah! No one look at my, well, you could look at my messy closet. It's a messy closet. There's no denying that. Oh, Perry. The chaos demon. Perry, like, mission accomplished. It says something about Perry that I don't even flinch anymore. I'm just like, yeah, that figures. Stroganoff for Poodles McNulty. I think they're both very fun, but Poodles McNulty is just on a different level for me personally. Perry, bless her. Really? What's going on? What's going on? Hi. You can sit, but I need to... Hey, excuse me. I need you to move. Shockingly, the world doesn't revolve around you, Perry. Perry's way of staying close... saying the closet needs to be organized. Probably. Do a stream with you, a few other... Tabletop D6 RPG called Troika. Oh, that sounds fun. How her paws are all white. I know. Bless her. She's like a little tuxedo cat, but she's not black and white. She's like this gray. She's a very unique looking cat. Perry, don't bite the lamp. I just want my spotlight. Perry, don't. Alright, let's see. No, Perry. Perry. You can't lay down on my notes. I need that, Perry. Blasphemy, mother. She is very soft. But lamp is delicious. There's so many other things to bite. You have so many toys. And so many scratching posts. Everyone knows I'm the star of the channel. Make me Luna from Sailor Moon. Do you want to cosplay Luna from Sailor Moon? Luna's cute. Oh yeah, so the for any don't bite my notes. For any Moonies, I've started a project. I don't know if anybody who is in my watch party with me is here, but shout out to them. I was invited to do a watch through party that spans a few months and covers literally all of Sailor Moon. And so we're doing a little deep dive into the fandom as I do that, and it's a very big project, and hopefully it'll cut together. I'm calling it Fandom Files, and if we like it, I can do it with other fandoms. Because it doesn't take off the table the ability to just do individual videos and cover things episode by episode in more depth, but it would be fun to just kind of like do this bigger docu-series thing. I'm having a lot of fun making it. So far, we have seen who are you doing it with. It's somebody from the community. I don't know that they want their group name mentioned, and I don't want to dox them if they don't want to be mentioned. But Shout out to them for inviting me. They apparently do this every year. It's been very fun so far. Why should you? It's, we're watching the original Japanese dub, and then, like, I'm doing the video, and then, there are other people, going through this experience, remotely, so hopefully, I don't know how many of them know about the video, but hopefully they'll like it when they see it. And hopefully it cuts together into something. Suspect, what am I doing? Suspect 1. Let's try, Perry, can you get down, please? Thank you. Yeah, but the watch through is happening. We've watched 11 episodes so far. And then I am going back on my own and comparing the DIC dub, because I found that, to the original, because everybody talks about how good, like, in voice acting quality it is, but also how different it is and how censored it is. So that's been very fun. Original voice actor for Usagi Sailor Moon. So good that they got her back in Sailor Moon Crystal in 2014. She is really good. She's a really good voice actress. So yeah. It's definitely the biggest and probably going to be the longest, how does he spell his name, video that I've done, but hopefully it cuts together. And we don't look back on this moment and just go, oh no, you should have scrapped it before anybody could tell that you were doing it. Oh. No, I think it'll be fun. So, yeah, I have a community post. If any Sailor Moon fans want to suggest an area of the fandom to dive into, I suspect the glowing alien is incredibly radioactive. Feel free to go on that post and let me know. Sigh. I'm getting distracted already. Sigh. Oh, Perry, you want to leave already? We're not good enough to hang out with? Alright, hang on, Perry. Everyone knows about the cousins? Yes, yes, I do. That's gonna be touched on. Yeah, but this was something I just got invited to do, and I feel like it's interesting because it'll be nice to focus mainly on a fandom of something and not just the show, because then we can go back and cover random episodes of the show in depth, one at a time, two at a time, like we do with everything else if we want to, but we'll have like an overview to start from. The D6 campaign is going to feature American Girl historical characters. Nice. I need to read one of the American Girl books that I have. Got 2 or 3 now. Alright. Clue Keeper entry 2. Shaggy and Scooby walked across the grass toward the barbecue. Hey, Scoob, remember that scene from Attack of the Crazy Pizza Man? Shaggy asked. You know, the one where the crazy pizza man splashes tomato sauce all over everybody? They sure don't make movies like that anymore, right, pal, Scooby? I need to conceptualize what Attack of the Crazy Pizza Man is, right? Let's keep running notes. What do we know about it? There's a scene where everybody gets sauced, I guess. Shaggy realized that Scooby wasn't paying attention. Scooby was watching a small animal scurry across the grass. Scooby, that's just a squirrel. Daddy, I want another squirrel. Yes, I am going to say it every time. Shaggy said. Rotch Riss, Scooby whispered to Shaggy. Scooby crouched. I don't like when they tell me that he whispered after I said it, because then I can't take back the non-whispering. Scooby crouched down and crawled very slowly across the grass on his stomach. Just as he was about to stand up and shout, "Boo!" 2 men came running over. Hey, stop! They yelled. The squirrel looked up at Scooby and made a screeching sound so loud that Scooby had to cover his ears. I don't think Scooby would say boo to the squirrel. I think the squirrel would be lunch. I think that's what the part that they don't want to tell children. I don't know why I think tongue sticking out is going to help me concentrate. Cover his ears. Then the squirrel jumped up onto Scooby's back, From there, it jumped onto a tree and ran up the trunk, disappearing into the branches. Shaggy ran over the tree as the two men got there. Who remembers Warnings at Waverly Academy and that damn squirrel that you have to chase? We're sorry we yelled at you, one of them said, but we didn't want you to hurt the squirrel, the other added. They can get upset quite easily. I'd be upset too if I was going to get eaten by a Great Dane. Like, are they really two people there, Shaggy whispered to Scooby, or am I seeing double? The two men it turned out, were identical twins, which is good because it means that they didn't have to redraw the cell. Sorry. We're the Bell brothers, the other said. I'm Don. This is Ron. Ron and Don Bell. Donald and Ronald Bell. All right. We run the local animal shelter. Suspects. It's like, these nice men, they love animals. Suspect list. So, like, what's the big deal about the squirrel? Shaggy asked. That was no ordinary squirrel, Ron answered. It was a red-bellied sap squirrel. The red-bellied sap squirrel is a very rare breed, Don explained. Someone look up if that's a real kind of squirrel. It's almost extinct breed, Don explained. It's almost extinct. Very rare breed. It's almost extinct, in fact, is what he said. Ron continued, and this park is the only red-bellied sap squirrel habitat left in this part of the country. We spent a lot of time and money trying to protect these squirrels and their habitat. Right on, dudes, Don said. We've put the monitoring equipment all over the park so we can keep track of them. Look up that tree there. Don pointed to a small black box hidden among the branches of the tree. We're going to get this park turned into a natural preserve, Don continued, so the squirrels will have a safe place to live. We've even strung wires between the treetops, Ron said. That way the squirrels can get around without having to walk on the ground. That keeps them safe from their natural enemies. They sound chill. I hope they didn't do it. And if they did, I kind of, because squirrel rights is a valid reason to do the alien crime, I guess. What a sentence that is to say. Safe place to live, strong wires, those natural enemies. That keeps them safe from their natural enemies. Like, who would that be? Shaggy asked. Well, people for one, Ron answered. They trample in the nuts and berries that the squirrels eat. Just moving on from that one. Then he looked right at Scooby, but dogs are an even greater threat. We submitted a petition to the town council, Don said, but even if they don't approve it, we'll keep on fighting. Fight the squirrel fight. Don, over there, Ron said. Someone's about to feed a squirrel. Come on. Ron ran off, followed by Don. Don't feed the squirrel. Speaking of feeding, Shaggy said, let's go find that barbecue. We still have time for a pre-dinner snack. Shaggy and Scooby's mystery-solving tips. Did you see the suspect eyes on page 15? Groovy. Now open your clue keeper and answer the following questions about this entry. What are the suspects' names? What kind of work do they do? Why are they so... I like that the like is there. Why are they so interested in the park? Now go and have a snack. Nice. I don't know why... Because all of this is said by them, I guess. I don't know why that's quote... I don't know. I'm not literate. I'm not a literary aficionado, is I guess is what I'm trying to say. Oh, Daniel, that sounds fun. Try it. Sirens. Oh, I hate sirens. Oof. I hate hearing sirens so much. He just flings pizza sauce at people. You got sauce, loser. I can just see it now. Favorite scene is when the pizza man... Oh, no. Oh, dear. That sounds wrong. I think they can catch squirrels, but they are wrong. My dog, Ellis, tried to catch a bird today, and the bird just flew away scared. And he was just like, did I get it? And it's like, no. And you're a bully. Stop it. I publish, I think I'm putting tons of references to squirrels just for the off chance you read it. I love it. Ron and Dawn. Dawn as in BS Dawn? No, Dawn as in Ronald McDonald. Yes, let's continue to roast Dawn the teenage. Dawn is a teenage bitch. She's not even a real person, so I don't feel a little bit bad about saying that. She really is nasty. The red-bellied squirrel is real. Thank you. I should have known that. It's been a while since my Stanley days. To go, unfortunately. Good night, Basilius. The stream will be, the VOD will be here for you when if you want to watch it back. When stream starts, that's when all the news comes in. Oh god, it's what's it called? Murphy's Law. Everything happens right when you're in the middle of something. That new Velma show. I've heard it's really bad, but I haven't seen it, Cameron. Eat sap, and there's a bird called red-breasted. also, the 5 hasn't Sailor Guardians yet. I have seen far enough in the show, in the original show, to meet Mercury and Mars. Jupiter and Venus, not yet, but those are there. The aficionado, and I still can't understand. And brush squirrel, called a red belly. Oh, that's cool. Can't say too much because I never saw it, but imagine. Yeah, I've just heard it's bad. I haven't seen it for myself. I'll need to watch it. I'll probably do a video at some point. It's just a teenage dirtbag baby. April Fool's video of Avery doing commentary on the crazy pizza man. My brother's idea is that the April Fool's Day video should just be like, it should just have this really clickbaity title and thumbnail, and it's just 30 minutes of me, just this of me, just editing, just for 30 minutes. With a small campaign, so it'd be fun to read again. Although it would be really fun to cover something meta and just pretend that it's real, and the joke being that for this one day a year we can cover something that's fake, but like a movie inside a movie. Now the song's in my head. I only wrote bad scripts so people can watch for the Velma show. Shit for the probably that. I mean, people know that when movies are stupid bad, it's a marketing campaign, right? So like they know. They knew that this was going to get roasted all over the internet. Or maybe it's just a bunch of boomers and they truly don't know. I've heard some of the quotes from the show and it sounds pretty awful. This is Pokemon, not Sailor Moon, but last night I was explaining to my husband, we talk about jelly donuts, he never knew where it came from. That's funny. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. Oh, Buzz Lightyear of Star... Well, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command is a movie. Because they did the movie. I actually did a video on it. Was it my 100th video? It might have been my 100th video. I can't remember. I should remember. Sorry, I forgot to finish writing. Occupation. Director. Motive, possibly. I don't like saying motive, but that's how they say it, because it's only a motive if it's actually what he did. It's a possible motive. Make movie. That's it. Make movie. Station was something else in the 90s. What is the Emily in Paris of HBO Max? Jupiter and Venus. Yeah, Mercury and Mars are like 2 episodes apart. Jupiter doesn't appear until a bit later. Pluto and Uranus, Neptune, Saturn are even further ahead of the story. Yeah, I figured that they had one for all of them. Aw. Sailor Pluto is probably so disappointed in what they did to Pluto. That's Uranus different. Did they say Uranus instead of Uranus? Because it's a movie inside a movie, but real. Fictionalization is the term, I believe. Nice. It's really fun. It's like how The Office released that full-length Agent Michael Scarn movie. It's just like a thing that they did on the side. Alright. Clue Keeper Entry 3. Daphne, Velma, and I stood along the observation platform at one end of the park. The sun was just beginning to set. We looked out over miles and miles of hills and trees. Jinkies! Velma exclaimed. I miss my soundboard. I wonder how far... I'm supposed to be getting my computer back soon, so hopefully we'll have it soon. I wonder how far you can see from up here. On a clear day, you can see for 20 miles, a man said. I looked over and saw a man standing with a telescope. 27 miles straight ahead, the man said, but thousands of miles straight up. He pointed to the sky. It's science, baby. Straight up, Daphne asked. Hey, are you an astronomer? That's right. My name's Greg Grogan. Greg Grogan, that's fun. The man said, there's no other place like this for miles, you know. I've been begging the town to build an observatory here for years. Suspect list. Then you must be happy with this park finally opening, I said. Oh, no, Greg replied. The last thing I want is a park here. No, what this town needs is a state-of-the-art observatory for mapping other galaxies and finding comets and looking for life in space. Did you say life in space? Velma asked. Of course, Greg said. There have been no less than 17 UFO sightings up here alone. I've seen 6 of them myself. I looked at the girls. They looked at me. I could tell they were thinking what I was thinking. This guy was a bit odd, to say the least. I know what you're thinking, Greg said. I'm just another loony who's looking for aliens, but mark my words, those aliens will show up and prove I'm right. Before you know it, you'll be looking at Greg Grogan Observatory right here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to find a certain star before the fireworks start. We had forgotten about the big fireworks show, scheduled for that evening. We made our quick goodbyes to Greg Grogan and headed back to the center of the park. He gave me the creeps, not crepes. It would be nice if he gave you crepes. He gave me the creeps, Daphne said. Like, did you meet those crazy brothers, too? Shaggy asked. He and Scooby walked up to the girls and me. They were finishing their barbecue snacks. Barbecue snacks. What do they have? Looks like one of them has a burger and one of them has a drumstick. I hate when people say burgers is a barbecue. It's not. At least not in the South. That's a cookout. That's not a barbecue. What brothers? Velma asked. We were talking about Greg Grogan, that guy looking through the telescope? Scooby and I just ran into these 2 creepy twin brothers, Shaggy said. Like they thought Scooby was going to hurt one of their red-bellied sap squirrels. That's odd, said Velma. Like, I know, Shaggy agreed. I mean, everybody knows my pal here would never hurt a squirrel, right, Scoob? Right, Scooby said. No, Shaggy, I mean about the red-bellied sap squirrels, Velma continued. I've never heard of that kind of squirrel. Okay, Velma hadn't heard of it, so I feel justified. Well, don't tell those brothers, Shaggy said. They want to turn the park into a nature preserve just to protect them. It sounds more like Cecilia Cornwallis has a lot of reasons to be worried about the park, I said. I just hope everything turns out okay, Daphne said. Of course it will, Daph, Shaggy said. Like, what could possibly go wrong? Oh, never say that. Don't tempt fate like that. Fred and Daphne's mystery-solving tips. They're such a power couple. They do the tips together sometimes, and then they do them separately because they also are individuals. Did you catch the suspect eyes on page 20? Fred and I thought you would. Grab your clue keeper and answer the following questions about this suspect. What is the suspect's name? What kind of work does he do? Why is he so interested in the park? Greg Grogan, right? I actually remembered his name. Reading is awesome. All right. Yes, I get it. Buzz Lightyear of Space Command was fun. Yeah, it's good. I need to go back and cover more episodes of the like regular half-hour episodes of the show because I had fun covering it back in the day, the movie. I know I haven't done E.T. I think in the beginning I was like, what else can I say about E.T. that hasn't already been said? But now I'm just like, heh, we need E.T. in our catalog. I'm not saying I'll do a great job. I'm just saying it will be interesting. Grogan. Occupation. He is an astronomer. And motive, potentially, is um he likes stars better than people, I guess. Hey, Late Late Horror Show. Zoinks. Zoinks indeed. How are you doing? Something tells me you'd like the Roswell series. I've never seen it, but I'll look it up. He gave you a mini pancake. Hi, so Scooby Doo. Yes, Scooby Doo, Akira, welcome back. The Velma series, aka the Mystery Gang prequel, I've seen that it has backlash. I haven't watched it yet. I think I was just watching Moist Critical talk about the Velma show, and I think that's what made me on a whim be like, I'm gonna get on and read Nancy Drew books tonight, or Scooby Doo books tonight, because I want to. Need a stream campaign on my channel. Cool, that sounds fun. Just a one-off campaign. OS would be a starting point. Episode of the show produced 3 of the most iconic villains. Nice. Very well, thanks. That's great. Love that. The book's not the show's copy. Velma takes place in another universe. Scooby-Doo has its own multiverse. Yes, multiverse confirmed. I think multiverse has been confirmed for a little while in the Scooby-verse. What is Daphne Blake Asian? I mean, hi Milo. I mean, I think having representation is great, and I don't think anything is weird about the characters being different ethnicities, but I heard, it's mostly just that I heard the writing is pretty bad on the show. How we doing tonight? I'm good. I did a very last minute stream on a whim where we're reading some Scooby-Doo books, so that's what we're doing. Cyber Chase. Yes, Cyber Chase. One off set in a hotel. Great, that'd be fun. Alright. Page 24. Yeah, no, the writing of Velma is not good. Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like, I know some people are just, like, thrown off by the characters having different ethnicities. I don't get that personally, but it's the bad writing that can't really save even the most even the biggest attempt at let's wait for Scooby-Doo versus Courage the Cowardly Dog in Death Battle. The Scooby versus Courage movie was fun to cover. Into the Scoobyverse. Into the Scoobyverse, yes. Bluekeeper entry. Alright. What's happening on the next page? Oh my goodness. By this time, it was dark outside. Everyone had gathered on the great lawn in the center of the park for fireworks show. I know they're saying, like, great, like it's a big lawn, but I'm just picturing, like, the most amazing, well-manicured lawn. It's a great lawn. Sorry. The gang and I sat down on the grass and waited for the show to begin. One by one, the lights on the lampposts started going out. Huh, Scooby asked. Don't worry, Scooby, Daphne said. They're just turning out the lampposts so we can see the fireworks better. That's all. And so we can see the glowing alien. Okay, Scooby said with relief. Then a funny sound filled the air. Like, I've heard some weird music before, Shaggy said, but this is the weirdest. A moment later, a bright light descended from the sky, and it got lower. The strange sound got louder. There was a big flash of light and a huge pull of smoke. The crowd started getting scared. I wonder what's going on, Velma asked. Could it be a spaceship? Shaggy asked, shaking with fear. Then, from out of nowhere, a strange-looking creature appeared to fly through the air. It had a small, round head and long arms with very skinny fingers. It looks like this guy, I imagine, unless somebody else is on the cover of that guy's book. This alien looks very naked. I'm concerned. I have questions. I'm moving on. and its skin seemed to glow in the dark. The alien started making a strange and scary sound. It was so loud, Scooby had to cover his ears. Zoinks! It's a space alien, Shaggy yelled. Everybody run! The other people sitting on the lawn stood up and ran away screaming. The alien flew back and forth, making all kinds of strange sounds, then it suddenly disappeared. As people ran out of the park, Cecilia Cornwallis walked around trying to calm them down. Soon the gang, Miss Cornwallis, and I were the only ones left. Aw, Fred, you're part of the gang. Oh, we get the 2-page spread of the monster. It's very foreboding. I can't believe it, Cecilia said. Once word spreads about this, they'll close the park for sure. Why? I'll go there. I want to see the alien. I want to make an alien friend. Who would want to come to a park that is haunted by aliens? I would, and also I don't think you can be haunted by an alien. I think the alien is just chilling. He's vibing. Wow, Daphne exclaimed. Do you think that Greg Grogan could have been right about intelligent life in space? I don't know about outer space, I said, but I do know there's intelligent life right here on Earth, and I think we need to use it to figure out if this alien is for real. Fred's right, Daphne said. That was Fred's very diplomatic way of saying, don't be a dumbass. It's probably a guy in a costume. Ms. Cornwallis, I asked? Don't worry about a thing. The Mystery Inc. gang is on the case. I'm glad Ms. Cornwallis is not a suspect for contention, because trying to remember how to spell Cornwallis would probably be disastrous for me. Thank you, kids, Cecilia said. Is there anything I can do to help? Well, don't call them kids in a talking down manner if they're helping you. You can start by turning the lamppost back on, Velma said. We'll need every bit of light to help us search for clues. Would you happen to have any flashlights, Daphne asked. In my car, Cecilia answered. I'll get them right after I turn the lamppost back on. When Cecilia returns with the flashlights, we'll split up and look for clues, Fred said. And Shaggy Doo get a clue. That sounds familiar. I've seen a lot of Scooby Doo. Yep, Scooby Natural. I want to do a video on Scooby Natural at some point. Live action films look the same, teaming up with all the Scooby versions. Yep. I want to see other versions react to Be Cool Scooby Doo. It was so weird. I'm imagining it honks like a goose. The alien? So they're xenophobes. Wasn't a fan, lol. You mean like they're saying the aliens don't have they don't have a right to be there? That's fucked up. He's probably a nice little extraterrestrial boy. Clue Keeper entry 5. A little beastie boy, like I call Beast. Like the thing that's like, here comes the boy. That's what I always think of when I think of when somebody like says about their cat, like, oh look, my little boy. Cecilia Cornwallis returned with 4 flashlights. Thanks, Ms. Cornwallis, Daphne said. She has 4 flashlights? Who carries 4 big flashlights like that? Good for her. Shaggy looks really happy to have his flashlight. He looks like he and Daphne, or Velma and Shaggy look like they're, like, planning on, like, trying to blind each other with the flashlights. Do you want to join us? No, thank you, Cecilia replied. I'm still a bit shaken up about the whole thing. I'm going to rest in the main pavilion. Come get me as soon as you find something. It's always the person that hired them that acts the most suspicious to me, and we never get to consider them as a suspect. You're supposed to be teaching kids to consider everything a suspect. Velma. She's a great Velma, Patrick. She's really wonderful. Daphne and I will check out the other side of the park, I said. You know where the spaceship seemed to land. Great idea, Velma, said Shaggy. Scooby and I will look around. here for the signs of the alien. We'll meet back at the main pavilion, I said. Now let's get started, Fred said. Daphne and I walked off across the great lawn. I noticed that the alien only moved between these two tall trees, Velma said. She pointed towards a couple of trees at the opposite side of the lawn. Shaggy, Scooby, you two check out that tree, Velma instructed. I'll look out of the other side if you find anything suspicious. If you find anything suspicious, I'll look on the other side. If you find anything suspicious, flash your flashlight quickly 3 times. Velma walked to the other side of the great lawn. Shaggy shined his flashlight out in front of him, and Scooby. That was the sentence. That was the whole sentence. There we go, brain. They walked quickly to the tree. I don't see anything here, Shaggy said. Do you, Scoob? Scooby said. Sometimes he says ruh-uh, so they can't make up their mind how he would pronounce Oh well, that's just the way it goes, Shaggy said. At least we tried. What do you say we head back to the pavilion and see if we can get something to eat? Right, Scooby said. Shaggy and Scooby turned and walked toward the main pavilion. On their way, a flashing light caught their attention. Like, I think Velma's found something, Shaggy said. They changed directions and walked across the lawn to Velma. She was standing next to a tree. She shined her flashlight up into the branches. Tell me what you see, Velma said. Shaggy and Scooby looked up. Like a tree, Velma, Shaggy replied. No, where my light is shining, Velma said. Reeves, Scooby answered. And branches, Shaggy added. Don't you see that small black box up on the branch, Velma asked. It's right there. Shaggy and Scooby looked up again. Oh yeah, Shaggy said. It looks like a miniature stereo speaker. Flashlight, clue. Doesn't that strike you as odd, Velma asked. Shaggy thought for a moment. Yeah, I guess so, Shaggy said. Like, why would squirrels be listening to music? Shaggy said to Scooby. My point exactly, Velma said. I mean, squirrels don't even have ears, Shaggy continued. Oh, brother, Velma said, rolling her eyes at Shaggy's response. She's like, am I the only one that attended school when we went? Rolling her eyes at Shaggy in response. I'm going to see if there are small black boxes in the other trees. Great, Shaggy said. Scooby and I will go check out the snack bar. I mean, go meet Fred and Daphne in the main pavilion. Just be careful, you two, Velma warned. No sweat, Velma, Shaggy said. Like, we're just walking across the lawn to the main pavilion. What could possibly happen to us between here and there? Stop saying that! Boy! Hello, boy! I love that. Did you notice the flashlight? This is Velma's mystery solving tips. On page 32. That's where you'll find the first clue. Open up that rhymed. Velma bars. Open up your clue keeper and answer the following questions about it. What clue did you find in this entry? What do you think this clue has to do with the alien? Which of the suspects could have left this clue? I mean, any of them. I assume I'm supposed to say the brothers, but also they knew it was there, so... I don't know. Although I was wrong in the last one that we read. Singing Ghosts, I thought I was sure I was right, and they pulled they bait and switched. It was a red herring, and I was very proud of them for that. Agreed, Daniel. Calling a person that is offensive. This is more of a what the fuck happened? That's weird. Yeah, that's fucked up. For real though. I love the original Velma. This is the first book tonight. Muppet adaptation of The Lost World would be like, and I thought a bit of lyrics for the first song. Nice. Sung by the people and animals that have nearby on the plateau. Oh, cool. I found a Journey to the Center of the Earth Wishbone edition, which I thought was very fun. Yeah, probably Shaggy was most likely a chronic class skipper like me. Probably. why I'm dumb now. You're not dumb, Milo. All of you are super smart. Red herring, I haven't heard that name in years, right? It was red herring, guys. Perry, you don't need to come back in. Ooh, that does sound fun. Be reading Wishbone one. Yeah, I've only done the one Wishbone book, and I have tons of Wishbone books. So I really hope that we get to, did we only get two? Oh, no, I forgot to write down the other suspect, the brothers. So I'm gonna write down suspect 3, but it's technically suspect 2. Suspect 3 and a half? I don't know. I don't think that's how math works. I think if I can manage to find the time to stream and manage my time well, I think this week I'm hoping to have, tomorrow night we're obviously doing Kingdom Hearts again. I'd like to do a Nancy Drew book at some point this week. I'd like to do a California Diaries book at some point this week. I would also like to do Goosebumps, so we'll see. We'll see what we can get to. There isn't more since books and Wishbones. There isn't more since books as Wishbones whole thing. I mean, there are a good amount. I think it was Patrick who was talking to me one time about how they never did. Well, they did Pride and Prejudice. What did they not do? Little Women. They never did Little Women, and that feels odd. Suspects 3. Ron and Dawn. What was their last name? Ron and Dawn. Bell brothers. Like bell bottoms, but not. It's not. Who the fuck are you? Don't cry. Sailor Moon cries supersonic waves. Tuxedo Mask. His main attack is throwing roses, which isn't like the manga, the anime did his character dirty. Is he the one that's like paired up with Sailor Moon, but like there's an age difference where there wasn't in the manga? I've been told about that. Not enough male characters for Wishbone to be in Little Women. I know, but still, he could have been what's his name, who's in love with Joe. He'd have to be Lori, I guess. Yeah. Would Wishbone even be in that story? The guy, the friend. Or they could just make him one of the sisters and change that part of the story. I know why they didn't do it. It's because there's not a whole lot of male characters. It's all the Little Women, but you know, still would have liked to see it. There's still a 2-year age gap in the manga, but they added 2 more years in the anime for some reason. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. That takes it from a... There's an age gap, but this is, you know... I'm not going to be haunted by this, or I'm not... this is hopefully not... too bad. Because you are talking about teenagers. But then adding 2 more years on that is just like, nope, that's all, nope. Why would you do it? Why would you make the gap bigger? You could have just as easily made it smaller. Ron and Dawn Bell. Like, preferably took it from middle school 3rd year, high school 2nd year to middle school 3rd year, university 1st year. Oh, that's worse. Because I assumed that they were like both in high school. Like if you got 2 kids in high school and they're like 2 grades apart, then it's like, okay, like they're pretty much, it's not ideal, but you know, because they're teenagers, but like hopefully it's whatever. That's just, why? A college? Oh, no, don't like that. Weird. 2 years is small enough, but 4, that's an entire high school get right? That's your entire high school career. Using 14 as the start of the manga, so she's in her final year of middle school. Ah. I guess these guys are wildlife Second story arc, Sailor Moon. Filler arc before the main plot. Mostly skip, except when Sailor Moon gets an upgrade, a new attack. Oh, well, see, the thing is, I'm kind of vlogging my experience watching these for the first time. And then as that's happening, you're gonna see me doing some more. I butchered that, but oh well. Deep divey stuff into different parts. This is a show that was so anti-lesbian they created incest by accident. So why are we surprised they magically created a bigger age gap? I don't know. And I mean, when they're that young, 2 years is also, like, kind of on the line. It wouldn't be if they were, like, both, like, 30-year-old characters or much older, out of school or whatever, but, like, you know, if they were both, like, way out of school, 4 years probably wouldn't even be creepy. That's, like, the age gap of, like, most people in rom-coms, but, like, middle school? Come on, guys. Apparently, I heard Sailor Moon can beat Goku. I don't know a whole lot about Goku, but I feel like she's very powerful. She's taken down some pretty high-profile, high-powered beings with no practice or training at all early on. Animes had lesbians in Japan. It was just the American. Yeah, and then I just got to this. It was only the second episode. Didn't even get a dub because it was just, and it was a creepy episode. It was the one where the friend is just, like, sexually harassing everybody, including the teacher. So it's just like, oh, they were off to a rough start. And they just didn't even dub 5 until the Viz dub came out. For high school, I know, right? She and her friends get stronger. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they start out able to just default kill a bunch of really powerful people, I'm sure after the story goes on, they're even more unstoppable. Sailor Moon beat Ladybug from Miraculous. Ooh, I don't know anything about Miraculous other than they have a very, very strong fan base. Oh yeah, I forgot to write. Let's write down the clue. I was behind. Clue 1. Clue 1 is speakers. Probably proving... Well, we might technically have a combination of tech. Proving tech. Pointing to Bell Bros. Speaking of early episodes, the first batch of villains were all male, but they made one of the villains female to make it a hetero relationship? Wait, what? Have I gotten to that episode yet? Which episode was that? I've only seen, like, 11. That'll be interesting to watch on the dub. Ladybug from Miraculous can't beat Goku. Deku from My Hero Academia and Spider-Man. How does chat feel about My Hero Academia? I always hear about it, I just never have watched it. I'm developing my opinions from other people. I'm just kidding. Just want to know if I should watch it or not. I do not like it. LMAO? Okay. Copy you. I never watched it. Okay. We've got hatred to indifference. That's fair. Clue Keeper Entry 6. Shaggy and Scooby walked across the grass toward the main pavilion like, "Did you hear something, Scoob?" Shaggy asked. Scooby tilted his head and raised his left ear. Then he slowly moved his head from left to right. Scooby reported. "Must be my imagination," Shaggy said. "For a second, I thought I heard the crazy pizza man following us." Hang on, Perry. Shaggy and Scooby looked at each other. Then they started walking a little faster. Good idea, guys. Scooby, quit walking so close to me. Shaggy complained. Like, your breath is melting the back of my neck. You don't know that the dog isn't tall enough for that? I guess if he stands on his hind legs. Rory, Scooby said. Shaggy looked over and saw that Scooby was walking next to him, not behind him. Scoob? Since you're not following me, whispered Shaggy, can you tell me, like, who is following me? Scooby looked at Shaggy, and then behind him. Railian! Scooby yelled. Zoinks! Shaggy echoed. Run, Scoob! The alien chased Shaggy and Scooby all the way to the main pavilion. It made terrible screeching sounds. Shaggy and Scooby, hang on, Perry, tried to run inside the main pavilion, but the door was locked. When they turned to run the other way, they noticed the alien was gone. Hey, like he's gone, Scoob, Shaggy said. Shaggy and Scooby heard someone's footsteps in the grass. They saw some kind of light getting closer. All right, hang on. Harris, I enjoy it, but I understand why people don't like it or hate it. Cool, cool, cool. That's fair. I don't know anything about it. I don't even really know what the general consensus is. I just know that it's popular. I don't know if it's well liked or not. Just because something has always been talked about does not mean that people like it. Whoa, whoa, easy. Male in the original. Interesting. Yeah, it's been really interesting watching the DIC dub with the after I've watched the original for the day, I go back and watch the DIC dubs. And it's kind of nice because I'll like put it on and like leave the original version just muted so I can see the subtitles sometimes, and it's just like, oh, they vastly changed this part. That's interesting. The first 3 seasons anime pretty much shits on the author's intentions, ignoring the author's more anti-racism and ACAB subtext by ignoring the villain-centric arcs. Ah, I see. My Hero Academia is the best anime superhero that the creator is. I think a lot of the fans are very young. Okay. Naru or Molly in the DIC dub sounded so British. In the DIC dub, she sounded very fake New Jersey, and it was a lot. It's a lot. DIC is pronounced like BIC? Wait. Not spoiling specific plot points. Copy. Deke. And the logo says. Ah, okay, I'm caught up. Perry. Deke. Okay. Sorry. I don't know things. This is going to be a chronicling of me just diving into a fandom that I've never really had that much experience before. Just like what Milo said, but because it's French. Got it. Hey, Kellen. Show it. I'm working in the background of doing normal videos. I'm working on a big Sailor Moon project. So we're just talking about the dub and the original. Come on. You can sit, you know, you don't have to be directly in the way. If you want pets, you can sit here. There you go. Come on. Ah. Thank you. All right. Zoinks, it's back, Shaggy cried. He's gonna melt our eyeballs and turn us into rocks. Goodbye, Scoob, old pal. Shaggy closed his eyes tightly. After a minute or two, he opened his right eye to see where the alien was. Daphne and I were standing in front of him. Would you mind telling us what you are doing, Shaggy? Daphne asked. Like that alien chased me and Scooby, Shaggy said. Where's Velma? I asked. She was looking for more clues, Shaggy said. Like, I hope the alien didn't get her. Oh well, don't worry about Velma. She's probably fine, guys. Hi, Perry. A lot of things I dislike about showing anime. For over-sexualization of teenage girls. Yeah, that's weird. That makes me uncomfortable. Needs to fight. Yeah. Like Luna in the series. Yes, Artemis. I've learned a little bit about Artemis. I was confused in the show because they made Luna, they just made look like Artemis when they did the unreleased American pilot. We should probably go find her, Daphne said. Good idea, Daphne, I said. Let's go, fellas. Oh, no, you don't, Shaggy said. We're not going out there where some alien could chase us and beam its death ray at us. Okay, Daphne said. I just hope that the alien doesn't come back here looking for you two. She and I walked away. Rate roar us! Russ! Rate roar Russ! Scooby called as he and Shaggy ran after us. As Shaggy and Scooby ran, they suddenly tripped on something and went flying into one another. Daphne and I stopped. Would you two quit clowning around? Daphne asked. Like something tripped us, Shaggy said. Rhea, ripped Russ. Ripped you? Oh dear, that sounds violent. Scooby agreed. Shaggy's right, Velma said. She walked out from behind a tree holding something. I found this harness attached to a thin cable running between these two trees. A harness and cable, Daphne asked. What's that doing here? It was used by our alien to appear to fly. Like Tinkerbell at the Disney parks, right, Perry? I know this because I was obsessed with Disney World for a while because of the Kingdom Keepers. It was used by... I'll explain. Only when I took the harness down, I accidentally unhooked the cable. That's what Shaggy and Scooby tripped on. You are putting your claw right into my knee, honey. Thank you. That's what Shaggy and Scooby tripped on. And now, you need to see what Daphne and I found, I said. Come on. Shaggy and Scooby's mystery-solving tips. Like, Velma found another interesting clue by the flashlight in this entry. Did you find it too? Great, now get your clue keeper and answer these questions about it. And, like, don't forget to give yourself another snack when you're done. It's a really good practice in reading comprehension. It really is a nice idea for kids. What clue did you find in this entry? What do you think the clue has to do with aliens? Which one of the suspects could have put the cables up across the trees? I mean, they all could have, couldn't they? Could they all have done it? Later, there's a unicorn in Sailor Moon? Oh boy. I want to see new Velma show. Is the internet overreacting again, or is it actually that bad? I've heard that it's pretty bad. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really speak, but from what I've heard, like the dialogue that I've heard about, I'm like, oh no. It'll probably end up being a video. I was gonna avoid it, and now I'm realizing I might have to talk about it. Miraculous can't do anything right. I know nothing about Miraculous Ladybug other than there is always drama in that community. I'm like, isn't this the sweet little Disney show? What are they doing over there, guys? Or so it seems. I could be just wrong. But there's always, like, something that the show has done wrong. And I'm just like, how do you mess up just the cute little kid show, Disney? Whereas he can actually fight back. I just saw a video with the Velma is worse than She-Hulk. That title just made your internet reviewer act. Yeah, I like She-Hulk. She-Hulk was fun. I really enjoyed She-Hulk. It had its very own style, and it just was fun. Glue to wires in Perry. Please stop putting your knife mittens into my knee. Wires in tree. More proof of fake. Ow! Jeez, Perry. There's something I know I'm forgetting about the suspects that they're trying to say, like, well, only it should rule somebody out if it was in a tree, but I don't remember. To my understanding, the executive producer creator is a piece of shit who intentionally whitewashes his characters when they take on superhero forms. Oh. Oh, that's not okay. That's fucked up. Star versus the same problem, shipping wars. I mean, Miraculous Ladybug has way more. It has, there's legitimate, like, there's obviously legitimate reasons for the fans to be upset. The only things I hear about Miraculous Ladybug are just, like, when I scroll past, like, people talking about more, like, terrible things that have happened. I'm just like, oh my god. Anyone who can. Yeah, and then the thing with Velma was they were, like, doing this victory lap, I guess, like, oh, we're the most watched animated premiere on HBO Max, and it's like, it's because you took down all the other animations on HBO Max. There is hardly any animation on HBO Max right now. I haven't seen that word junior in chat lately. I wonder if they know we were back to doing these. Quirks. I fell out of Miraculous after early season 4, plus the creator of the series, Jesus Christ, he makes Twitter his playground to block people who disagree with him. Ah. Yikes. Yeah, I've never agreed with, I mean, obviously block people who are, like, being abusive or, you know, being whatever, but I've never agreed with, like, deleting comments just because that person disagrees with you, because I feel like the thing about the internet is we should all have, like, if I'm getting on the internet talking about my opinion, it wouldn't be right of me to, like, be like, but only other opinions that agree with me are allowed. Like, nobody can disagree with me. You know, it just, it gives off this idea that, like, I'm right and that you kind of get, like, almost gaslit into thinking that your opinion is wrong if you go into the comments and just see people agreeing. So, I don't know. I always find that weird. Are you serious? Maybe it was set up that way. It's Files theme place. Clue Keeper entry 7. And a lot of people on staff, I think maybe even the creator, are kind of like pervy and weird. Oh god, about the teen characters posting drawings of them and oh no. Oh, that's a rabbit hole that I didn't expect to be falling down today. On a later note, I finally beat boss fight that I've been struggling with since November. Yay! I'm gonna have to go back and do that cursed Jafar boss fight that we already did in the first Kingdom Hearts game again tomorrow. Clue Keeper entry 7. The gang and I walked over to the far side of the Great Lawn. There were 2 big trees on opposite sides of the grass. Now watch closely, I said. I walked over to the tree. And Daphne to the other. Ready, Daff? I asked. Ready, she replied. I wish she had gone. Ready, Freddy. I'm sure she says that in at least one. I reached up and pulled on a branch. Suddenly, a ball of colorful lights appeared near the top of the tree. The lights then started floating down. Zoinks, Shaggy exclaimed. It's the alien spaceship. No, it's not, Shaggy, Velma said. It's just a string of colored lights bunched together. I don't care what they are, Shaggy said. They're flying. Actually, the lights are attached to a very thin wire that extends from the top of that tree to the bottom of this one. We just covered this clue, Daphne said. They didn't even give us a flashlight. It's old news. I'm pulling another wire that's making the lights move. So, like, it's not a spaceship, Shaggy asked? That's a relief, right, Scoob? Scoob? Scooby was holding something. He reached down and touched it with his paw. A loud screeching sound filled the air. Right, Scooby howled and jumped up and threw the thing to the ground. The alien, Shaggy yelled. Velma walked over to where the sound was coming from. She knelt down and picked up something. She pushed the button on it and the sound stopped. Scooby, where did you get that? I asked. Ron-ra-ras. What? Scooby answered. Velma looked at it carefully. On the grass. Okay, it took me a second. That's odd, she said. This portable cassette player has a built-in loudspeaker. Ooh, portable cassette players. Built-in loudspeaker. Yeah, emphasis on loud, Shaggy said. I'll bet the alien dropped it when he was chasing you earlier, Daphne said. Things are starting to fall into place, Velma said. I have a hunch that the alien isn't from another town, much less another planet. Velma's right, I said. It's time to set a trap. Who are we thinking it is, guys? Do we think it's the twins, or we think it's the director guy? I can see them going in one of two directions with these clues. Daphne and I hope you saw the flashlight on page 42, because that is an important clue. That rhymed. Make sure to answer all the questions about it in your clue keeper. What clue did you find in this entry? What other time do you remember hearing a sound like this? Which suspects were around when you heard that sound? Where do I remember hearing a sound like that? Was it the brothers? He said suspect, so maybe it has to be the brothers, right? That's a big squirrel I just saw on that page. Monitoring equipment all over the park so we can keep track of them. Look up in that tree. We've even strung wires between the treetops, Ron said. Oh, so it's definitely them unless they're messing with us again. Okay, sorry. I had to do it to finish an entirely different quest because it was holding an NPC hostage. So now I've finally caught up in the main story, and there's a character we get to rename as part of the quest. That's fun. I wasn't here long enough to know who's the bad guy. I think it's the brothers, but you know, who's to say, really? We're almost done with this one, and then we'll move on to a brand new one anyway. Speaker built in. Not taking notes for an actual case. I don't know why I felt the need to clarify. I don't remember hearing. A screech. Oh well. I loved Mia. I tried to watch it. And Scooby Doo called the Mystery Gang, meddling kids. Like they're I mean, 19 is, you're an adult legally, but you're a kid, you know, especially to a middle-aged person, you're a kid. When I had my first job, I was in my senior year of high school. Yeah, and then I worked that job through and into my gap year at 19, so 18 and 19. So I was called kid by all my coworkers who were all older than me. And I got all the tech issues, even though we all know I'm bad with tech, just because they were like, Avery can do it. Avery's a kid. But I'm sure they will remind Probably the twins, etc. Because they're high schoolers. Velma's 15. I don't know that that's canon anymore. I think it was canon in the original one, but Velma's not, like, I think Velma, I don't know. The canon changes so often, but yes, they're all high school. They're all teenagers, but I think now they're all out of school. But Velma could have graduated early. I don't know. Unless someone is framing the brothers, but like it would be framing the brothers to have framed the alien conspiracy guy. And that's like one layer of framework too many, methinks. Yeah. I literally just got back to my dorm building yesterday. The elevators are already broken, I swear to God. Oof. Personally, I just liked Minako best because she's the sailor of love. Oh. Call college-age students kids despite being one myself. I call people older than me kid. Why? I mean, college-age students, guess what? You're still a kid. You don't realize it until you're past that age of your life, but you're a kid. Like, I mean, I don't. If you're 19, you're a kid. Like, you're not, but you're a kid. You know what I mean? We're like, you're a baby, and I'm like, I am 30 in 4 months. Nah. It's all relative. Call everybody kid. I mean, kid is just a good, it's kind of like how I call everybody my guy, regardless of if they are in fact a guy or not. Or dude, I've always used as a gender neutral term. No one truly becomes an adult. No, you just become a kid that's better at pretending to know what you're doing. My little sister is 18, but I still think of her like she's a kindergartner. Yeah. My little brother's 23, and I know what that feels like. Chain of Memories. If you're playing the console version, blind, the two versions are very different. Yeah, they're very different. I know that because I would be like, Maddie, what do I do? And she's like, I don't know. Alright. The gang and I had a great idea for the trap. We were going out. He loves his trap so much, bless him. We were going to out-alien the alien. First, Velma and Daphne needed to disguise Scooby as an alien. Then Shaggy was supposed to get the alien to chase him across the Great Lawn. When the alien got to a certain spot, Scooby would fly through the air using the harness and the wires that Velma found earlier. Once Scooby startled the alien, Shaggy and I would jump out and capture it in one of the picnic blankets left on the lawn. The only hard part was convincing Scooby Doo. Please, Scooby, Daphne said. We'll give you a Scooby snack. Scooby answered. He crossed his paws and looked away. Who wrote this one? James Gelsey. James Gelsey wrote several of them. Will you do it for 2 Scooby snacks? Velma asked. Scooby thought for a moment. Rope. All right, 3 Scooby snacks, Daphne said, but that's it. Okay, said Scooby. Daphne and Velma took turns tossing the 3 Scooby snacks into the air. Scooby jumped up and gobbled each one down. We were finally able to spring into action. Daphne and Velma took Scooby aside and started putting together an alien disguise. I walked with Shaggy toward the main pavilion. Remember, Shaggy, just make sure you run to the right trees, I said. Like, I'm so scared that any tree where there isn't an alien is the right tree for me, Shaggy replied. Then don't think about the alien, I coaxed. Pretend you're being chased by the crazy pizza man instead. The crazy pizza man, Shaggy said. No one's afraid of the crazy pizza man. He's like made of pizza crusts and burnt cheese. Interesting. That's great, Shaggy, I said. If you get scared, think of the crazy pizza man. If you get scared, think of the crazy pizza man, guys. I turned and left Shaggy alone. Inside, I was holding my breath, hoping that he wouldn't mess up the plans. Oh, I'm not scared, Shaggy called, but thanks to all the talk about the crazy pizza man, now I'm hungry. Shaggy stood on the grass and looked around. It was pretty quiet. Hey, alien, come out from wherever you are, Shaggy called, like, wherever you, like, maybe he flew back to his planet. Shaggy walked across the lawn. After a few steps, Shaggy felt that same hot breath on the back of his neck. Gulp, Shaggy said. Shaggy swallowed hard. Okay, he didn't say gulp, he just swallowed really hard. He turned his head just a bit and caught a glimpse of a greenish face and long, slender fingers. Zoinks! Shaggy exclaimed. Coming through! Shaggy started running. The aliens chased him all over the great lawn. Psst, Shaggy, Daphne whispered from the trees. How does he hear her if he's running by and she's whispering from the trees? This way! She pointed toward the middle of the great lawn. Shaggy started running in that direction. You notice how sound works very strange? Like physics and science and everything and logic works very strange in the Scoobyverse, but so does sound. We don't talk about that very much. My coworkers thought I was fresh out of high school until I mentioned having a college degree. That happens to me all the time. People assume that I'm still in high school, or at least just out of high school. Suddenly, a strange-looking creature flew out of nowhere and across the sky. Zoinks! Shaggy called. It's another one! He turned and started running in the opposite direction. I quickly caught Shaggy's attention and waved him over behind a tree. The alien who was chasing Shaggy saw the flying alien who was really Scooby in disguise. Scooby then made some strange alien sounds. Roo! Scooby moaned. The alien stared at Scooby. It reached its hand up to grab Scooby's foot. Right! Scooby yelled. Very quietly, Shaggy and I held a picnic blanket and snuck up behind the alien. Just as we were about to throw the blanket over the alien, we heard something snap. Shaggy had stepped on a branch. The alien whipped around and let out a big screech, startling us. Suddenly, everyone heard the flying alien say, Ruby, Ruby, Roo! The alien looked up and saw Scooby unfasten his harness before the glowing alien could run away. Scooby landed right on top of him with a thud. Celia Cornwallis ran across the lawn, right, with Daphne and Velma. You've caught him, Cecilia exclaimed. How wonderful. Would you like to see who's behind all this? Daphne asked. Absolutely, dear, Cecilia replied. She reached over and pulled the alien's mask right off his head. Back at Louie's Pizza Parlor. They're all staring at me. Oh, geez. They're like staring into my soul. Do you see that? Scooby can see through me. Hey, who ordered the spaghetti pizza? Louie shouts from behind the counter. You look up from reading the gang's clue keeper. Well, now you've met all the suspects and found all the clues, Fred said. Yay or nay spaghetti pizza chat? I'm not sure. Do you think you're up to solving the mystery? You nod your head. Great, Daphne says. Here's some advice. Look at your list of suspects and clues and answer these questions. First, who do you think had a good reason to scare people away from the park? Velma asks. Second, who do you think had the know-how to scare people away from the park? Fred asks. It's either him or the director, because they're going to say he knows a lot about special effects. Third, who do you think had the opportunity to scare people away from the park? Daphne asks. See if you can eliminate any of the suspects first, Daphne suggests. Then, using all of the information you've collected as well as your own smarts, try to figure out who the alien really is. Like, anybody want some? Shaggy asks as Louie puts a huge plate in front of him and Scooby. Louie makes the best spaghetti pizza around. I don't think many people make that kind of pizza. Why don't you solve this mystery while Shaggy and Scooby are having their snack? Daphne suggests. Then, when you're done, we'll tell you who was behind the antics. Jinkies, it's your last chance to solve the mystery before the gang reveals the answer. When you're ready, turn the page to read the groovy ending of the case of the glowing alien. Who do we think it is, chat? I'm torn. And it was a movie about aliens he wanted to film there, right? Yup. I think it was. Why did I tell them I'm 25? Yeah, I just turned 26, and people give me that too, Milo. What grade are you in? I get that all the time. I still get, like, I'll be at the store in the middle of the day, and people are like, why aren't you in school, honey? And I'm like, because I graduated, like, 8 years ago. I am old. Versus Jafar, I think most losses are tied with Avery. It was a lot. And we already did that one, which makes me salty about it. More Avery versus Yago? Yeah, it is. An alien that was actually Scooby in disguise. So, an alien in an alien costume? Yeah. Because Scooby, yeah, Scooby's an alien, depending on which canon you believe. It's Avery versus topics that she gets passionate talking about. That's true. That's very true. When you start talking about, people being, transphobic or whatever on the internet, I'm just like, let's talk about this and just forget Jafar exists for a second. Spaghetti pizza sounds gross. It sounds like a lot of carbs. The bros. Good old fettuccine. Reminds me of spaghetti tacos on iCarly. I thought that too, Milo. Everyone's like, Spencer makes such good spaghetti tacos, but it's just spaghetti in a taco shell, so he makes good spaghetti and knows how to purchase taco. Yeah. And he's probably, who else is making, like, they say it like everybody on the street is making, like, spaghetti tacos. They have to be the only household doing this. Mars versus Mercury. I like them both, honestly. Devin. Hi, Devin. Welcome back. To hell with that new series, which shall remain unnamed. Velma? I'm pretty sure that's what made me, I'm not pretty sure, I know. I was watching I haven't seen it yet, but was watching a Moist Critical video about the show, and that made me kind of look over to my Scooby Doo books and be like, huh. Also, I've been correcting some of the, and adding to some of the records that are, let's say, wrong on Goodreads, since now I have librarian status. Let me go put my phone on the charger real quick, and then we'll read the end of this, and then we'll start the last one. We're making good time tonight, considering we started late. No, I'll just leave it there. I don't really need it right now. I saw that I had a charger available, and I was just like, nah. Alright. Did we even say that we started the book? I went to do it, and I think I got distracted. Also, you like how I said we, as if you guys were responsible for me forgetting something? We are reading this one off of our very extensive want to read list. Anybody who follows me on Goodreads, just know that I post batches of books that get logged when I get people sending me books or finding them. And then also on top of that, there's just like a lot of books in my want to read, because I have a lot in my everything that I log is something that I have, because I'm trying to keep track of what we have. For the sake of everybody helping me. Hi, 20 concurrent viewers. We are reading Scooby Doo. I think we all just wanted some good old-fashioned Scooby Doo today after the news about Velma. Through tonight, listening to this on stream is such a vibe. That is a vibe, Kellen. I like that vibe. No, we use this word exclusively. Wait, sorry, I lost my place. What was I gonna say? My ADHD pills are not working out tonight, or they're gone. Oh yeah, Daniel brought this, or somebody, yeah, Daniel brought this up earlier. We don't use that word for people. Jesus. Devin, good old fashioned is the only fashion in media anymore. Just joined stream because I wanted to forget my day happened. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't even a bad day. I just don't want to be to remember it. I know that feeling. Sorry. Kind of college campus, no family, and small living space, less friends. Of college campus, woods with walking distance. Nice. That's cool. I didn't go to college. I was one of those kids that every parent fears. It's like, I'm gonna be an actor when I grow up. All right, let's see who done it. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The Bell brothers were behind the whole thing, Velma says. Don wore the alien costume, and Ron operated the fake spaceship, and the lights and the pulleys to make Don fly. You know that our other two suspects were Greg Grogan, the amateur astronomer, Daphne says. I kind of wanted it to be the other guy just because that would have been less overt. Been harder. Yeah, Greg Gorgon, the amateur astronomer, Daphne says, and Cy Stroganoff, Fred adds. All of the suspects had reasons for wanting to keep people away from the park. I already forgot his name was Stroganoff. I wrote it down. After thinking about it a bit, we decided Greg Grogan couldn't have had anything to do with the mystery, Daphne says. After all, he's the only suspect who truly believed in intelligent life on other planets. He wouldn't want people to think that aliens were mean and scary. Ah, that's true. He didn't want anti-alien propaganda? Okay. He wouldn't disrespect the extraterrestrials. I got you. I don't want people to think aliens are mean and scary. That left Bell Brothers and Cy Stroganoff, Fred says. They all had access to the park, but to put wires up and speakers and things. After all, Cy Stroganoff has said he was already preparing for his movie shoot, Daphne says. And the Bell Brothers said they put up monitors and cables for the squirrels. Daddy, I want another squirrel. No, she says, Daddy, I want another pony. But then she says, Daddy, I want a squirrel. But, yeah. Mr. Stroganoff could have used his movie equipment to make the alien and the effects. I mean, he's probably renting that equipment, unless he's an indie creator, but, you know, tomatoes. Fred explains, or the Bell brothers could have used the monitors as loudspeakers and stolen the rest from Mr. Stroganoff's storage truck. The clue that tipped us off were the portable tape player that Scooby found, Velma says. It was supposed to be in the alien's voice, but the sound on that tape is definitely not from outer space, right, Scooby? Right, agrees Scooby. The Bell brothers had recorded the squirrel sounds and used them to make the alien's screeches. Ah, how clever. Daphne explains, all in all, then they could frame the squirrels if it all went south. Daphne explains all in the name of preserving the red-bellied sap squirrel. I mean, it's a valiant cause, you know? Just then a red-bellied sap squirrel runs up from under the table and sits next to the spaghetti pizza. Huh, at the table? And Scooby. The squirrel takes a nibble of the pizza. Did they take one home with them? Crust and screeches happily, and turning their nature preserve into an all-squirrel zoo that they hoped to make money on, Fred adds. Everyone across the table now looks at you. Oh, boo, don't put the squirrels in zoos. So how did you do? Daphne asks. I'll bet you solved that mystery without any problem, Velma adds with a smile. After all, you do have some pretty good teachers. Like, solving mysteries isn't all you can learn from us, Shaggy says to you. Really, Daphne asks. What else is there? Like the best way to eat a spaghetti pizza, Shaggy says. He and Shaggy each take a huge bite of the spaghetti pizza. As they slurp in the spaghetti, you notice that they are eating opposite ends of the same piece. Oh, like Lady and the Tramp. Shaggy and Scooby both try to slurp the spaghetti into their mouths. Suddenly, the red-bellied sap squirrel jumps up and takes a bite out of the middle. The ends of the spaghetti quickly disappear into Shaggy and Scooby's mouths. The squirrel chews happily. Come back and visit us again, Fred says. There's always another mystery to solve, and like another pizza to eat, Shaggy says. Right, Scoob? Ruby, Ruby, Roo, Scooby agrees. And that's the end. That's the end of that one. Dropped my phone and decided to yeet you. Oh, that's fine. Genuinely didn't mean send anyone into the Shadow Realm. Oh no. Who got sent into the Shadow Realm? Live action Sailor Moon. Only one. Very different to the manga and anime. Interesting. Akira. Yeah, so the Bell Brothers did it. That is weird response for you to for your phone to punish a third party for being dropped. Hey, Paulo. Hope you're doing okay. Wait. I'm trying to read and I'm doing the fish meme. Just reminded my teacher is planning on doing the Willy Wonka musical. Oh, me copying Veruca. My brain was refusing to read it as anything but Vsauce, and I was like, how did I copy Vsauce? Sorry, my brain. That sounds fun. And Willy Wonka musical is fun. We're making good time. It's only 11. We read that one fast. Laser, Guardian. Well, like, I caught my phone by pressing. Yeah, that happens. There is not a spider crawling on my head, but thank you. Spaghetti pizza. Make it a baked spaghetti pizza. Ooh. Devin and Kellen got yoked entirely on accident. Oh no, sorry guys. Welcome back. I just logged that we started reading the book, and now I'm like, hey, what do you know? We finished reading the book. Good for us. Let's make sure while we're here that I don't need to add anything. I'm going to make sure, because bless these books, they're so obscure that they're just... Oh, they've actually logged all of the stuff. Good for them. That's nice. Okay. Anyway. I think that we can also put this on the Scooby Doo red shelf or whatever, but anyway. Goodreads things. Do the Goodreads things. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so I can read it. Maybe. I did? I didn't even notice, LOL. Oh, that's funny. I'm glad you didn't. I felt horrible. It happens. Like, I did it to Maddie that one time by accident. The spider would probably tell you it doesn't exist. The spider would demand a name. Name the fictional spider. All right, let's see. All right, we finished this book. Now we're moving on to The Lost Lumberjack, which does remind me quite a lot of The Case of Bigfoot Beast, because they're also probably going to be out in the woods again. I think they were losing focus at that point. Name them Spiky. Okay. Just heard a spooky ass noise in the woods. Go inside! I've seen this movie before. It's Ginger from Beetlejuice. Alright, let's see. The Scooby Gang get away on a scenic vacation. The beautiful forests of Washington State. First stop, an historic sawmill. Well, the fact that there's technically a spelling error or grammatical error is probably a bad sign for this one, guys. But fun time turns to run time when they meet the ghastly ghost of a lumberjack who's been missing for over 50 years. It's just Slenderman, don't worry. He just wants a hug. He's really a nice guy if you give him the chance. Lost. Alright, I'm gonna actually log that we're reading it. There we go. You would think that Goodreads would know to look through my saved books first before it starts giving me suggestions for other things. Oh, somebody used half the description. Oh, well. Oh, I've got so many notifications to answer. Sorry, if any of you have left a comment on my most recent video and I haven't gotten to it, sorry. Been kind of busy the past couple days. Dun, dun, dun. Some woods in my local spooky ass noise. Oh no. Alright, I have to go to bed. I have to go be nice and early for work. Bye, Ellery. Thank you for hanging with us. Slenderman. Night, night. Good night, Ellery. We'll see you next time. Hopefully tomorrow. To Jesse Blake and Amanda Teresa, my beloved children, to you my heart, my everything. Aww. This one is written by Jesse McCann. There's no author, like mysterious fictional author to credit them all to, like Hardy Boys or Nancy Drew or, you know, stuff like that. So, all right. I thought this was actually just like, you know, when somebody writes like a note or something into a book. All right. Probably should go. Good night, Texas. School tomorrow, so I'm on the fence. Yeah, I know that feeling, but yeah, let's make quick work of this book, and then I'm gonna hop off to. Just been doing 2 on these streams because otherwise it's just a short stream to just do one book that's only like 50 or 60 pages. All right, Dinky's Outdoor Road Stop Cafe. That's what it's actually called, where we are. On the way home, you notice a very different kind of van at the car repair garage. It's green, with cheerful designs and writing on the side. It's the Mystery Machine. Ooh, what happened to it? Wow, there's something you don't see every day. You think to yourself, is this where we meet the mystery? Is this where we meet them? This one was written in 2000. But the Mystery Machine has been all taken apart and its owners are nowhere to be seen. Why are Scooby Doo and the other members where are Scooby Doo and the other members of Mystery Inc? Then you hear a familiar voice. Hey friend, we're over here. It's Velma calling you. You turn and look. Sure enough, there's the whole gang. Nope, we already knew them. So we should see it a lot if we know them. Oh yeah, that was a terrifying case. Stephanie Harlow has a really good video, and I think Kendall Ray also has a really good video on those cases. That was an insane case, for sure. The teenager, not so much. Aw. Even in the summer. Dang. I'm not a morning person. It couldn't be me. The whole gang sitting at picnic tables on the side of Dinky's Outdoor Road Stop Cafe. What a mouthful. Hey gang, what's up, you say, as you walk over to Velma and Daphne. Fred, Shaggy, and Scooby Doo. Shaggy is licking his lips, like, I'm so hungry I could eat a sandwich as big as this table. How about you, Scooby? Scooby is sitting next to Shaggy. He nods happily. Rhea, Rhea. Like, we just got back from another amazing adventure, Shaggy says. Invite Marcy, dang it. Invite us. Then he turns to place his order with the waiter. Like, do you have any sandwiches as big as this table, Shaggy asks the waiter. No, of course not, says the waiter, looking at Shaggy like he's crazy. Raw. Scooby frowns, disappointed. Shaggy and Scooby place their regular-sized sandwich order. I mean, it doesn't look regular size. It looks like it's a pretty big sandwich. Fred turns to smile back at you. To smile at you. We weren't smiling at Fred. How dare we? We just got back from the forests of the Pacific Northwest, Fred explained, so we decided to get to the mystery machine tuned up after such a long trip. It was a pretty exciting mystery we solved. I wish you were there to help us, Daphne tells you. Would you like to hear about it? You bet, you say, and you sit down. Here you go, the waiter grunts as he hands a huge, what's pink, something. It's like lipstick or something got on the corner of this book. Oh well. Adds to the charm. Hands a huge platter of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to Shaggy and Scooby. 134 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, he says. Only 134, laughs Velma. You guys must not be as hungry as usual. Like, these are only appetizers, Shaggy declares. They don't have jobs. Are they that rich so they can afford to eat out all this amount of food all the time? Like, these are only appetizers, Shaggy declares. Anyway, about our latest mystery, Fred says to you. I'll bet you could have helped us solve it. You smile. You are pretty good at solving mysteries. Hey, I know, Daphne smiles. Why don't you... We'll tell you the story of our latest case, and you can solve it. That sounds like fun, you laugh. I've even got something to help you, Fred says. He holds up a small, wire-bound notebook with a purple cover. Ooh, we get lore on what what the Clue Keeper looks like. They sold Clue Keepers. They did not look like that. I think they might have been purple, but they were not spiral bound. Then he hands the notebook over to you. It's our Clue Keeper for this case, what we call the Lost Lumberjack. We write down everything that happens in our Clue Keeper, Daphne explains. Then the people we meet, the clues we find, and anything we think is important. All you have to do is read the Clue Keeper, Velma continues. We've even added some shortcuts. Whenever you see this suspect eyes, you'll know you've met a suspect in the case. And whenever you see the flashlight, you know you've found a clue. Our Clue Keeper is divided into sections, Fred says. At the end of each section, we'll help you organize things you've found. All you need is your own Clue Keeper and pen or pencil. Say, Scoop, you tell us this all the time, Fred. Stop mansplaining to us. Sorry. Say, Scoob, like, where are our manners? Shaggy asks, suddenly looking at you. Would you like some of our PB&J, pal? Rhea, read up, Scooby says, motioning to the half-eaten sandwiches. No, thank you, you answer politely, barely able to stifle a giggle. Scooby and Shaggy's faces are covered with peanut butter and jelly. Now I want peanut butter and jelly, damn. I'd rather start solving this mystery. All right, then, Velma says, pointing to the Mystery Inc. Clue Keeper. I wrote up this mystery just... Oh, Velma did. Sorry, I thought my brain decided to default to Daphne, even though Velma was literally holding it, and I was like, what? I wrote up this mystery. Just open it and begin with Clue Keeper entry number 1. The Lost Lumberjack, she says. And so, you do. A giant spooky ass in your town? I wish I had that kind of will to get up in the morning, right, Cassidy? I can't get up for anything in the morning. I hate mornings. My mom gave me like an old-fashioned alarm clock, and I love it. But the reason why is because it's so loud. It's not just that it's vintage, which it is, and I do love it. But it's just loud, and it's something that'll actually wake me up because my brain does not want to hear any alarm from my phone. Good night. Till next time. It was a sad case. Yeah, it was really sad. Yeah, that's an intense case. That's a really, really tough one. As much as they eat, to say nothing of the weed, can't imagine solving mysteries pays much. I mean, I think they're all trust fund kids. They have to be, right? They always say that Daphne's like uber rich, but she's like rich even to rich people. I think they're all pretty well off. Let me write down my notes. Start my notes, I mean. What's the fun of reading an interactive book if you're not going to interact with it? Just like Poppy Dada says, you need to interact with art. Case of the Lost Lumberjack. This is giving me my Round the Twist fans. This is Lost Lumberjack is just for some reason giving me Round the Twist vibes. Like if this was an episode of Round the Twist, the lumberjack would be this very nice person who was literally just lost as a ghost, and they would help him, and then he'd be like, "Thanks, guys," and then he'd leave, and that'd be the end. Purple Pepper, hey, welcome back. How are you? Maybe the alarm clock has bigger. It doesn't have speakers. It's like an old alarm clock with bells on the top, you know, like one of those like mid-century ones. And it just makes this really loud metallic sound when it goes off in the morning. Dude smokes so much. Even his shirt is green. Yeah. I believe that Shaggy doesn't actually smoke weed. He's just like that normally, yeah. It's too easy, is what you're saying, to believe that they're smoking all the time. That's just the way Shaggy is. It would explain a lot, though. Clue Keeper Entry 1. The Pacific Northwest is beautiful. We drove through the tree-covered mountains of Washington State on our way to visit a historic century-old sawmill I'd read about. The sawmill attracted a lot of tourists. Like, how much further is this place, Velma? Shaggy asked me. Scooby and I are starving. Right, Scoob? Uh-huh, Scooby whined, trying to look as sad as possible. My rummy's rumbling. As a matter of fact, there it is now, Fred pointed from behind the steering wheel of the Mystery Machine. Sure enough, up ahead loomed the Rustic Pacific Lumber Company, a sawmill. The Rustic Pacific Lumber Company. Sawmill, that's a long name. It was built in 1895 and had supplied a lot of wood to people. Now it had been, chat, don't even think about it, don't. Now it had been turned into a tourist attraction. People from all over the country came to see it. But there was something in front of the sawmill we hadn't expected to see. A group of protesters holding signs walking in a big circle. As the Mystery Machine pulled into the mill's parking lot, Scooby and Shaggy immediately jumped out. Like, come on, Scoob, Shaggy cried happily. Let's go see if they've got candy bars in the gift shop. Row boy, Rocklet, Scooby smiled as he hungrily followed. Fred, Daphne, and I didn't go with Shaggy and Scooby. We wanted to see why the protesters were there. We approached a lady with a bullhorn. She appeared to be the leader. Ooh, we're meeting a suspect before we meet anybody else. Hi, I'm Belinda Pickett. Her name is Pickett, and she's picketing. I get it. Suspect eyes, the lady with the bullhorn said. She didn't say suspect eyes. They are, so we know that she's a suspect. No to land developers. Yeah, that's right. My brain just didn't want to read it. Save our forest. Yeah, so far they've got a good motive. Let's hear them out. Bullhorn said, "Have you come to join the Friends of the Old Mill?" Wait. I keep waiting for it to be an anagram for something. In our protest? No, I'm afraid not, Fred answered. We were just wondering what you were protesting about. The old sawmill and the forest around it have been sold to a development company. They want to cut down all the trees and build a town here, Belinda explained. We're trying to stop it, and we will, too. We've gotten some unexpected help from the ghostly lumberjack. Ooh. The lumberjack is against deforestation. Good for him. That feels counterproductive, right? It feels ironic. What's your new vid? I like the title, but you really... Bad weirdos. I mean, there are no... to my knowledge, nobody's been creepy to me that I've seen in the comments. It doesn't mean that it hasn't happened. I might have just not seen it, but... Sorry, I thought that was very funny. It was right there. I couldn't help it. And if people are gonna be weird, they still shouldn't be. They still don't get to be weird. They will still get yeeted, just like always. Good, I finally recovered from my stomach infection. Oh, I'm sorry. That sounds awful. That honestly just makes it funnier that they're not even smoking. They're just like that, yeah. Going around, it seems I had a bad one on Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry, Cassidy. Not for those meddling kids. They could lumbered on forever. It's the forest. Based suspect? See, I need to know, right? Based if he's for deforestation, but he's also a lumberjack. So like, how does that work? I guess I'll have to just keep reading. It was well done, young grasshopper. Thank you. Stomach infections are the worst. I'm sorry. I didn't even notice that you spelled it differently. Deforestation means less trees to cut, which means lost jobs. True. That is true. Always plant 2 to 3 to 1 cut. Isn't that the rule? True, 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 true. He could be an ethical lumberjack. My teacher showed us a video of the grandma telling the story in a video of the grandma telling the story. Oh, from Krampus? That's amazing. Yeah, that was what our newest video was about. What were you studying that she just pulled up a video of that part of the movie? I'm curious now. My teacher loves Krampus. I actually really do like Krampus. It's very silly, but it's very fun, you know? Ghostly Lumberjack, I asked. Tell us about him. We've had a little experience with ghosts. Yeah, more than a little. People say it's the spooky ghost of a logger who was lost in the woods over 50 years ago and never found. The lumberjack's ghost has been haunting the people around here lately, Belinda said. If a ghost scares people away, then the developers won't want to build a town here. I'm all for that. I'm all for that too. Belinda started to walk away. If you'll excuse me, I have to get our lunch baskets. Protesting is mighty hungry work. It sure is. Belinda smiled and disappeared. We're already getting chased by the lumberjack. This is fast-paced. Belinda smiled and disappeared into the trees. About the same time, Shaggy and Scooby sadly came back from the old sawmill. Aw, man. Like, not only do they not have candy bars, they don't even have a gift shop, Shaggy complained. We looked for Belinda. That's a mismarketing opportunity. You gotta do a little capitalism to survive in capitalism, I guess. We looked for Belinda to ask if Shaggy and Scooby could join them for lunch, but we couldn't see her anywhere. Suddenly, we heard a growling from the trees. Out came a strange-looking man in an old-fashioned lumberjack clothes, like the kind Paul Bunyan wore. He was over 6 feet tall, and his eyes were completely white, and they glowed. It was the ghostly lumberjack. Arr! The ghost snarled. Then it came lumbering toward us with arms outstretched and fingers grabbing. It was grabbing for us. Oh gosh. Hands to yourself, Lumberjack man. Velma's mystery solving tips. Whew, you can get back to the exciting story after you've made the entry in your clue keeper. Did you see the suspect eyes on page 8? Yes, I did. That's your tip that you found the first suspect. Now answer the questions below about the suspect. What is the suspect's name? Why is she at the old sawmill? How can a scary ghost help her? All very easy questions. Belinda Pickett. Krampus. I love that Krampus as a folklore being. Yeah, it's just a really interesting story. Krampus is very cool. He's like opposite Santa. Creepy, but interesting, the type of characters I love. Yeah, I liked being able to do something creepy for Christmas, because you get a little bit tired of, I mean, I'm all for a cheesy Hallmark movie, but they get old after a while. It's nice to watch something different and more in our regular speed. Not having to completely give up anything creepy for Christmas. Belinda. Why did I put a... I don't know why I did a comma like I was putting her last name for her first. Belinda Pickett. There to resist. I was gonna say protest, but I just started writing resist instead. Deforestation efforts. Ghost is helping the cause. What's his name? Nick Falcone in Nancy Drew the Final Scene say? What he says, as long as they're in on the plan and down with the cause. And Nancy goes, well, you need to be in on the law and down with the truth, Nicholas. It was Krampus Day and he wanted to show some videos about him. Nice. Cleared of it fairly quickly. That's good. Avery, do you know the book called Inkheart? I love Inkheart. Inkheart is definitely going to be right on this channel eventually. All 3 of them. It's going to be many streams to get through it, but it will be really fun. I love Inkheart. Tales from the Dark Side. Alright, let's see. Alrighty then. Phew! I already read this. But phew, I have one less page to read. Cluekeeper entry 2. Zoinks, cried Shaggy. Like, run! The ghoulies got grabby fingers. The ghoulies got grabby fingers. I hate that. That's a cursed sentence. Arr! The lumberjack ghost growled again. It's in a nasty mood, I said. We'd better back off. I think you're right, Velma, Fred said to me. Once we're clear of him, we can try to figure this mystery out. We can try to figure this mystery out. He's peppy even when his life is in danger. Be quiet, Fred. You're gonna make the lumberjack hear us. At the moment, one of the protesters saw the ghostly figure. What's that? He shouted. A ghost, the second protester shrieked. My mouse is right over the illustration. Let's get out of here, a third protester cried out. Together, that's one too many uses of the word out. Sorry, I'm being nitpicky. Together, the group fled into the trees, screaming. The lumberjack's ghost turned toward us. Arr! Let's scram, Shaggy yelled at his legs already pumping. With his legs already pumping, we ran into the old sawmill. Inside were rusty machines, once used to split, shave, and cut logs. These machines had stopped working a long time ago. Or long ago is what it says. But We didn't have time to enjoy the sights at that moment. The ghost was right on our heels. It snarled and grasped for us angrily. We ran around one of the biggest machines. It knows we're in here. We can't run away from it forever, Daphne said. I saw a little door and yanked it open. There was a small, pitch-dark room on the other side. Inside fast, I told my friends. We tumbled in and shut the door. I peeked through the keyhole and watched us as the ghoulish ghost passed by and continued on. Jinkies! I think we lost it. We got a Zoinks and a Jinkies in this chapter, I think. I said. Lost what? Asked a deep voice behind us. A bright light snapped on. We all screamed. We thought we were alone in the tiny room, but we turned and saw a middle-aged man in a business suit. He was sitting at a desk. That's all of the bad guys, pretty much, more or less, in Scooby Doo. Middle-aged men in business suits? That's all of them. I'm sorry, the man said. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm KT Bricks. Suspect eyes. Land developer. This is my office. I shut off the light so I could catch a quick nap at the desk. Mr. Bricks was the developer Belinda Pickett had told us about. It was his job to arrange for the removal of the sawmill and all the trees around it, so a town could be built there. So we don't have a point person on this one. Interesting. Are you running from something? Mr. Bricks asked. Like nothing much, man. Just a ghost, Shaggy said. Rhea, a Rig Rugley roast. Don't call him Rugley. That's rude. Scooby added. Mr. Bricks frowned and ran his hand nervously through his hair. Oh no, not the ghost again, Mr. Bricks said glumly. We get another suspect? I don't know what to do. Jeepers, what's wrong, Mr. Bricks? Daphne asked as she sat down in the chair opposite Mr. Bricks. The rest of us crowded around to listen. I've been having a terrible time trying to make this land deal work, Mr. Bricks said. First it was the protesters, now this ghost is scaring everybody away. My crews won't work with a ghost around. I'm afraid I might have to call the whole deal off. Don't worry, Mr. Bricks, Fred said confidently. We've solved quite a few mysteries. We'll help you find out what's up with the ghost. Mr. Bricks looked unsure. Oh, I wouldn't want you kids to go through any trouble. Like I said, that makes two of us, Shaggy said. When it comes to ghosts, that's trouble we don't need. Nonsense, I said. It's no trouble at all. If you could just show us the different places where the ghost has been spotted, Mr. Bricks, we'll start our investigation. But he has suspect eyes. He's acting like a point person. But they counted him as a suspect. Good for them. I think we always should. Well, if you insist, I'll get my assistant, Clay, to show you. Mr. Bricks lifted his phone receiver. Clay likes to camp out in the woods, but he's got a cellular phone. Ooh, a cellular telephone. He explained, I always think of High School Musical where the teacher's like, give me your cellular telephones. Or you may retrieve your cellular telephones at the end of class, or whatever it is she said. In about 10 minutes, a large, broad-shouldered man walked into the office. Hello, Clay, Mr. Bricks said. He introduced us to Clay, who barely smiled. Come on, I'll show you where the ghost is usually seen hanging around, Clay said. It's said gruffly. He didn't seem like too happy a person. Interesting. Okay. We thanked Mr. Bricks and followed Clay into the woods. Into the woods. It's time to go. I know it's late. I have to though. Sorry. We hadn't gone very far when suddenly Shaggy and Scooby stuck their noses straight up into the air. Like, do you smell what I smell? Do you smell what I smell? Sorry. Scoob, old pal, Shaggy smiled hungrily. Someone's been cooking lunch on an open fire. Chestnuts. Sorry, I will stop. This is how my ADHD brain works. If you remind me of a song, I will sing it. Scooby and Shaggy took off, following the pleasant scent of the outdoor barbecue with their noses. Shaggy and Scooby's mystery-solving tips. Did you see the suspect eyes on page 16 and page 19? Then get your clue keeper out and answer these questions below. Below about the last entry. Pretty soon you'll solve this groovy ghost mystery. I wonder how many clue keepers they go through, because they've solved too many to all fit in that one. So they must have stacks of them. Who were the two suspects in the last entry? What were they doing at the old sawmill? How does the ghost affect their plans? Well, it would be really a bad idea of Mr. Bricks to cause his own problems, but you know. Does Clay have a last name? He doesn't have a last name. Or from where I'm standing, that's a physical impossibility. I recently started reading Inkheart. It's super good story. It's really good, even though I'm not even halfway through. I really liked it so far. Yeah, I read it back in middle school through my early years in high school. I've always loved it. It's a wonderful book. Cornelia Funk, great author. You're good, Patrick. I'm sure the show was hectic. Um, episode. Um, 4 in a row, 5 in a row. Wait, what's happening? I'm so lost. Okay, let's write down our 2 suspects. We have suspect 2 is named K.T. Blake, which makes me think of B.T. Kaiser from Stay Tuned for Danger, Nancy Drew game, and book. I don't think I own that book, but I want to. I want to own like as many Nancy Drew books as humanly possible, but you know. Bricks. What are they doing at the old? Do you like how I take this children's entertainment very seriously? There to invest in deforestation. Very disappointed. I hope it's him. Boo. But the ghost hurts his plans, right? Unless I'm just not paying attention, which is possible. And the suspect number 3. Do I have a favorite book? I have lots and lots of favorite books. As a series, everybody knows that Nancy Drew has always been very important to me, like as far as like the kinds of books we read here, and Goosebumps and all that stuff. As far as just like books in general, I don't know. It really depends on the day. There's a book called Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson, which has been incredibly helpful to me as somebody struggling with mental illness. Because she just talks about going through mental illness and, you know, it doesn't make it seem like this scary thing. She's so funny and it's just like super relatable and I love it. So that's definitely up there. What are some other favorites? Suspect 3 is Assistant Clay, who has no last name. Assistant. I don't think I spelled that right, but whatever. Clay. Works for Mr. One book that I really love, one series that I really love is The Mysterious Benedict Society, and I want to read that on stream because it would be super fun. And it's just a really good book. Like, even though it's written for kids, it's really, really well written. And that's exactly what I want to see. Oklahoma News 9, yes! Oh gosh. Works for Mr. Bricks. That's one of those things where it's like, that doesn't sound like a real name, but somebody surely has that name. May be glad Ghost is scaring people from his camp. But may have more work annoyances. Work annoyances. There we go. Nancy Drew, but then realized they don't sell it in my country. Oh no! I mean, you can probably buy it. You'd have to pay the shipping probably, but you can buy it internationally. Through like eBay or something. They don't sell Nancy Drew in your country. It's so fascinating. We have so much Nancy Drew. It's just it's hard to imagine. You might be able to read some too if you're cool with reading them online on the Internet Archive or somewhere like that. Was into Hardy Boys for a while as a kid. Yep, Hardy Boys is also a big part of my book collection for sure. Into Your Notebooks, The Singing Suspects, Nancy Drew, The Clue Crew, Cinderella Ballet, Mystery, or The Zoo Crew. Which one should I read first? We'll have to see. Well, I don't know when we'll get to those, but hopefully soon. We have so many books. There's like, I think I have over 500 books logged on Goodreads right now. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I found some of those. So I found another Nancy Drew Clue Crew, and 4 of like the Nancy Drew Clue Crew equivalent of the Hardy Boys, like the younger Hardy Boys books, at the new dollar store near where I live, and I was super psyched. I was like, I am absolutely buying all 5 of these books for $7, not even, I think. And we are absolutely gonna have them in the library. 513 books. Nice. Boxcar Children. Yep, have a few Boxcar Children. My grandmother loves Boxcar Children. I don't think I've ever actually read them, though. Just kind of know about them from her a little bit. Those are good ones. Anybody interested in what I have collected so far, you can check the Goodreads page that's linked on the channel banner. And if you're on Goodreads, feel free to friend me. But yeah, I keep track of all the books that we've read and all the books that I've collected on there. Boxcar Children next. Por favor. Oh, Pat, I see we have some Boxcar Children support. We'll have to definitely do that. Alright, Clue Keeper Entry 3. We followed Shaggy and Scooby through the trees. They had a good lead on us. When it comes to feeding their stomachs, those two can run fast. But we're not headed where the ghost is usually seen, Clay called grouchily from behind. I turned back to answer, yes, but we don't want to leave our friends alone in the woods. At least not until we know more about the ghost. Now I'm going to start singing Alone in the Wood, Lost in the Woods. Sorry, Lost in the Woods from Frozen 2. Clay just shrugged his shoulders and stayed behind. Wow, they're just really packing it in this one. They were just, this writer gave no fucks. Like, this is wild territory. When I finally reached a clearing where the gang had stopped, Shaggy and Scooby were circling a pit dug into the sand. Someone had built a barbecue there. Flashlight. And had been recently cooking food. Interesting. Whoever was chowing down here has eaten and run, Shaggy said. Well, maybe it's not a total loss. It could be the protester. She's trying to get food together for the other protesters. I said, let's look around the area for some more clues. We searched the clearing. Whoever had been cooking there had been very tidy. No trash was left behind. I found something over here, Fred pointed out, a scrap of material hanging on a branch. Maybe it's from the ghost's disguise. He whispered, looks like the same material anyway. Like if it is a disguise, Fred, Shaggy said. I don't know about you guys, but that spook looked pretty real to me. Ree-roo, Scooby said. As my dad says, believe none of what you read and only half of what you, or believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. Don't be silly. You two know there's no such thing as ghosts, I said. There has to be a logical explanation. Yeah, I agreed. Fred, why would a ghost cook food? Like, maybe it was frightfully hungry, Shaggy joked, then laughed. Scooby joined in. Ree. Oh, I finally could have used, I had that sound effect on the board on the other computer. I think I'm finally getting the computer back this week, though, so hopefully that'll be a good thing. That will be a thing that happens, I mean, that's obviously a good thing. Very funny, you two, I said sarcastically. But if you ever want to solve this mystery, we can leave and get lunch. You'd better start looking for more clues. Ooh, just solving the mystery casually before lunch. No big deal. Zoinks, that's right, Shaggy gulped. We still haven't had lunch. Come on, Scoob, let's get to detecting. But Scooby already had his nose to the ground and was quickly sniffing all around. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Hey gang, I think I found another clue over here, Daphne called from over by... Another one? A pine tree? She was walking around the base of the huge tree. It was so big. Daphne disappeared behind it. Wait for us, Daph, Fred called. We don't want to lose anyone. As Fred, Shaggy, Scooby, and I approached, we heard Daphne say, it's around here on the other side. Come look, it's... Then Daphne screamed, Eee! Danger-prone Daphne makes a comeback. We ran to the other side of the tree. Fred shouted, Daphne, are you okay? Daphne! But Daphne wasn't there. She just disappeared into thin air, I gasped. Or like maybe the ghost got her, Shaggy said with his eyes open wide. Ooh, Shaggy said Scooby dizzily, and then he fainted onto the ground. Describing the Shaggy antics, it doesn't have the same ring to watching it, doesn't it? Bonuncula. No way, I have that book. I saw it, and I was like, what is this vampire bunny-looking book? I need to own this, and I have it in my, and I have it in one of my, like, with all my other books, and I'm like, one of these days we'll read it on stream. Oh yeah, Boxcar Children are much like Nancy Drew Hardy Boys. They're still being published. There's hundreds of them. I'm sure it varies in quality from book to book. Pride of ownership something. Am I the only one that loves the smell of new books? No. No, I love the smell of books. I actually don't mind, though. I always say, like, collecting all of these nostalgic books, I buy pretty much most of them secondhand, and I really don't mind that. Like, I think there's a charm to secondhand books. It's nice to, like, be like, oh, somebody wrote their name in this, and, like, you know, I used to take books with me everywhere as a kid, so, like, maybe somebody did that. Do you keep copies of the Nancy Drew books? Me? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have a whole giant shelf. My goal is to hopefully own... I'll probably never own all of them. There's just so many, but I'd like to own as many as I can, for sure. I collect them. Those are also logged on the Goodreads page. If you've got one that you want me to read specifically on stream, let me know which one jumps out to you. Oh, multiples of the same book. Not really, just because I just am always trying to figure out how to save space for all the individual books that I have. But one thing that I did that I've been thinking about doing here is like maybe taking some duplicates that I've found in like lots that I've had found over in collecting like eBay books and stuff. Um, and kind of dissecting the duplicates and putting them here to kind of like wallpaper part of this room. So maybe that's something I could do with them. Yeah. That was really interesting. I guess it really is like Nancy Drew. Yeah, I think they've all been they all rose to popularity around similar times. I think Boxcar Children is a little bit newer than Nancy and the Hardy Boys, but fun fact, Nancy Drew notebooks, Clue Crew are apparently different versions of the same stories. Clue Crew is updated. Interesting. I was realizing that some of them are similar. All right, where did Daphne go? Oh, I was supposed to write these down. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. We're all over the place. This one's structured way differently. So we have the material, and we have the barbecue. Okay. What do you think the clues have to do with the ghost? Could any of the suspects have left the clues? Which suspects? I'm sure all of them could have left the particular things that we found. Sometimes I feel like they don't exactly ask the right questions, if that makes sense. But no, yeah, Nancy Drew. I love Nancy Drew. Nancy Drew has always just been so important to me. I have a huge collection of Nancy Drew books and memorabilia and all that stuff. Had it for a while. Clue. Whoa. Okay, that doesn't look like a U. It looks like a W, but whatever. Clue number 1 is the barbecue. That's not how I write my cues, but oh well. Could point to protester who was making sorry, lunch. Clue 2 is piece of lumberjacks clothes proves it's a fake ghost. And yes, if you've never been here before, that is something they want you to manually rule out. Because sometimes we get to the end of a Scooby Doo mystery and it is a ghost. Not in this series so far, though. Oh, shoot. Put this over here to save space. Real ghost. There we go. Okay. Good night. Thanks for hanging out, Purple. Still read both his different stories. I'm sure it's still fun to read both of them for sure. I used to have a couple of books each for home and school. That's mostly what I did, rather than listen to electronics to have confiscated either. Ah, I see. Okay, let's keep going. What time is it? I think it's almost midnight where I am. It is almost midnight, and we're making good time. We're more than halfway done. Or we're exactly halfway done. Okay. Clue Keeper entry 4. Where did Daphne go, I wondered. Fred pointed to the base of the tree. Look, some kind of secret door. Sure enough, it was a small door. Clue on the ground beside the big tree. It looked as if you would fall through it if you stood on it. Then I heard a groan. Daphne was on the ground behind a nearby rock. I tripped over the door, she said. Daphne got to her feet, then she smiled up at us. Well, what are you waiting for? I've discovered a secret passageway. Yeah, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. She might be clumsy, but sometimes us clumsy people stumble into something important, quite literally. It's almost 4 p.m. where you are. Stuck in your head. Yeah. Fred and Daphne climbed down carefully. I walked back around the wide pine tree to get the others. Shaggy was fanning Scooby, who was looking as if he was still passed out. Jeez. Zoinks, like poor old Scooby Doo has fainted due to excess terror and hunger. We need 1 dozen extra thick pizzas here. Stat. With anchovies, Scooby whispered. He didn't say, huh. Interesting. Opening one eye just a little. Come on, you fakers, I said, unless you want to stay out here alone in the forest where the ghost is. I don't really love extra thick pizza. I like thin crust, like New York style. But pizza's always good. There's no bad pizza. Unless it's got pineapple on it. I'm just kidding. I don't really mind. That got Scooby and Shaggy moving. They were up and running so fast they passed by me. But they waited outside the open secret trap door, gazing into it nervously. Down you go, I told them. Like, no way, Velma, Shaggy said. That ghost is way too creepy. Yeah, really creepy. Scooby agreed. Get going, I insisted, unless you want to meet the ghost in the woods. I climbed in. Velma threatening them is hilarious. Shaggy and Scooby came down after me. Fred and Daphne were waiting for us at the bottom of the rickety ladder. We looked around. There were lights mounted on the wall every few hundred feet. It was quite easy to find our way around. I wonder if the ghost uses this tunnel, Fred said. We'll find out if we run into him down here, said Daphne. Zoinks! Again, another zoinks. I hope not, Shaggy cried. Scoob and I came down into this tunnel to avoid the ghastly ghoulie, not to run into him. Everyone stepped quietly through the tunnel. At every turn, we expected the lumberjack to pop out with his weird glowing eyes. After a while, the tunnel came to an end at a locked door. Like, not a problem, smiled Shaggy. Not when one of the greatest lockpickers in the world is your best friend. Take it away, Scooby. Scooby the lockpicking genius, huh? I forgot that part of the lore. Scooby proudly stepped up to the locked door. He looked at the lock. Reese of Rake. He grinned confidently. Scooby lifted his tail and put the tip of it into the lock. That sounds uncomfortable. He shaped it like a, you see that? Like a little key. He concentrated. Suddenly, the tip of Scooby's tail turned into a key shape. He slipped it into the lock. Click! Scooby opened the door, stood up on his hind legs, and elegantly ushered us through the door. Rafter you, ladies and gentlemen. The Scooby logic of how he speaks is so inconsistent. The Scooby accent. Scooby said. Then he laughed. Ree! That's how he laughs. We were all surprised when he saw what was on the other side, the old sawmill, but it was a part of the sawmill we hadn't seen before. There were all sorts of old lumber making machines, but they weren't rusty. In fact, they looked like they still worked. There was a giant circular saw, a log splitter, and even a machine that banded bundles of logs together with thick metal bands. Jinkies, I said. I wonder who would... You could play a drinking game out of their catchphrase usage. I wonder who would take the time to clean and do all the upkeeping on those old machines. And why? I didn't have time to wonder for long, though, because suddenly in the shadow moved a mysterious figure. Zoinks! It's the ghost! Shaggy yelled. Like, run for it, Scoob! Scooby didn't have to be told twice. He ran as fast as his Great Dane legs would take him. We don't get a lot of references to his breed of dog. Unfortunately, he ran in the wrong direction, right toward the figure in the shadows. Jeepers! Things were pretty exciting. This is Daphne's mystery-solving tips. Things were pretty exciting for Scooby. We'll get back to the story in a minute, but first, did you see the flashlight on page 27? That could be an important clue. Open your clue keeper and answer the questions below. What clue did you find in this entry? What do you think the ghost might have used this clue for? Which of the suspects may have known about this clue? Let's see. What was the clue we found officially? Small door on the ground beside the big tree. Okay. Interesting. Alright, clue 3. Is a... And then there was like a bonus clue. They didn't count it as a clue, but it was like figuring out that, they went to the trouble of cleaning the machinery. Clue 3 is a trap door in the woods. Maybe Clay knew about it because he likes to camp. From camping. Maybe. Okay. Anyway. Mr. Ghostface. If you're in this... Why did I read that like Mr. Sandman? If you're in the parking garage, please don't murder me. I want to be in the sequel. You can do it! You can make it! Just run really fast. Just kidding. You'll be fine. I'll go. Night Denny's meal. Ooh, that sounds good. A Waffle House has found its new host. Guy is a former member of a college improv group. Interesting. Paint him in the... Oh, that's funny. Have you guys ever, like, made tater tot waffles? They're so good. You just get like those frozen tater tots and you just put some in a bowl and you microwave them a little bit to make them kind of mushy, and then you put them in a waffle iron and you put seasonings of choice on it and you make the waffle. It's very good. The book is not over yet. No, it is not. It's almost over. Because we're on book 2. I just had to stop and take notes and I was looking at chat. Okay. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Cauliflower is good. I just saw somebody say something about cauliflower crusts, like pizzas. That sounds good. At Doobie School. Tater waffle sounds great. It is great. I call them toffles, and they're my new favorite thing. And they're super easy. Kind of, yeah. You'll be, I believe, so hash browns. Pretty much just hash browns in waffle shape, but they're good, man. True hash browns are shredded. Ooh, that might be kind of a controversy. Some people like their hash browns in patty form. I personally like all hash browns because they're hash browns. Okay, so let's see. Clue keeper. I answered the question. We've got a thing. We've got a thing that we found. Clue keeper entry 5. We've got another suspect? What's happening? This book is off the wall. The mysterious visitor was over 6 feet tall. Scooby ran right into him, was smashed flat, and fell prone onto the floor. Shaggy looked at me. Zoinks, Velma, the ghost got Scooby Doo. That's no ghost, Shaggy, I said. Sure enough, a man, not a ghost, sat up. That's so salty. Not a ghost, Shaggy. He was wearing a pair of oily overalls and looked to be around 70 years old. He pulled out a pair of false teeth and stuck them into his mouth. Nah, I ain't no ghost, the man declared, adjusting the teeth. I'm Cyrus Tinker. Suspect, and I've been working at this sawmill for over 55 years. Mr. Tinker told us that he was still employed by the sawmill as a handyman. It was his job to keep the place open for tourists. Fixing these machines is sort of a hobby. I do it in my spare time, Mr. Tinker said. I'm sure going to hate seeing them tear this old place down. We've run into Nancy Drew criminals with similar motives. We told Mr. Tinker that we were looking for the ghost, how we had followed the clues to the tunnel, and how the tunnel had led to the door. You won't find a ghost down there, Mr. Tinker said. Ain't nobody has used that old tunnel or gone through that door in years. Even I don't. I come in through the door in the sawmill. In fact, the only other person I know of that's got a key to the trapdoor was that land developer feller, Mr. Bricks. Well, somebody's been using it, I said. It's open and there are lights on. What's happening? Oh, I just missed something. Hang on. I ain't got time to worry about it, young lady, Mr. Tinker said, wiping his hands with a cloth that was just as dirty as his hands were. Good luck with your ghost hunting. Mr. Tinker ambled away, mumbling under his breath about crazy kids. That's close to meddling kids. Jay would be happy. I don't know if Jay's still here. I think we should ask Mr. Bricks about the tunnel, suggested Fred. We went back to Mr. Bricks' office. Fred knocked on that door. Mr. Bricks, Fred called. Fred put his hand on the door handle and slowly turned it. It wasn't locked. After taking a deep breath, Fred inched the door open. Creak! We stepped over the threshold and into Mr. Brick's office. Then we stopped and stood petrified. We found ourselves face to face with the Lumberjack's ghost. We backed away quietly. Back away slowly from the Lumberjack ghost. The Lumberjack ghost stepped into the room. It was dark and we didn't know if he saw us, but then he raised his arms and growled. His eyes glowed. He saw us. Uh-oh. There was only one way to escape, and that was to run right past him. Oh yeah, we didn't find out what made the ghost costume glow in the last book, did we? I thought that was going to be important. Tony! Hope you're doing well, Tony. Breakfast potatoes, but waffle hash browns sound good too. I love all hash browns the same. No, you're not kidding. Right? They're so good. They're so good, Paulo. Yeah, they're not always shredded. Like we don't do shredded all the time. In fact, more often than not, I have when I see hash browns, they're in patty form. Jinkies, that was pretty scary. Velma's mystery solving tips. I know you can see, but you know I'm gonna call it out. That was pretty scary, let me tell you. I remember wishing I'd left my glasses behind so I couldn't see that growing ghoul. You look a lot better with my glasses off. Does anybody remember that video? And speaking of seeing, did you see the suspect eyes on page 35? Terrific. Now take the clue keeper and write down your answers to the questions below. Who is the suspect you discovered in this entry? How would the suspect benefit from if the ghost scared everyone away? Could the suspect have left the clues in the earlier chapters? I mean, he really did a turnaround as the ghost very quickly. What is his name? Cyrus Tinker. Alright, Suspect 4. This is That's a lot. I'll read through the questions. He wants to save his job, maybe. I hope the stopping to write is calming and not annoying. I've done it for like 16 of these books now, so yeah. Sorry, he hated it the whole time. Save his job from capitalism. I don't think he had time to change. He had just left them, and then the ghost showed up. Unless he's doing a quick change, Jekyll and Hyde a la David Hasselhoff style thing. Alright, then. I hear Perry just meowing at something randomly. I have no idea what she could possibly need right now. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, guys. Alright, let's get back to the book. Oh, hang on, I have water in the other room. Go grab my water. Everybody wave at the chair. Say hi to the chair for holding down the stream while I'm gone. I'll be right back. Alright, you guys ready? We're almost done. What up, chair? Chillin'. 12:11, did you know? Do you know where your meddling kids are? That'd be a fun parody. Or merch, one of the two. What is merch if not parody? Persevering. Okay. So we're on page 40. We're almost there, guys. Clue Keeper entry 6. Roast! Scooby said. Cried. Zoinks! Shaggy yelled. Jeepers! Daphne hollered. Jinkies! I gulped. Run for it! Fred suggested. They almost did the meme. You know, the one from Mystery Incorporated where he's like, "Aw, he doesn't have anything to say." They go down the line and then he doesn't have anything. And we did. The ghost chased us upstairs and downstairs in the old mill. We ran into doors and out of other doors. Aha, as they do. We hid behind the machines and under desks, but the ghost of the lumberjack still found us. One of the things that still worked in the old sawmill was a long network of water troughs. Troughs. These were used by the loggers in the old days to move logs from here to there. They actually floated the heavy logs. The owner of the sawmill kept the water flowing through the old troughs for the tourists' sake. It looked pretty cool. We tried swimming away from the creepy lumberjack through the troughs, but the ghost cut us off, and we had to run again. Oh, this is a lot. Finally, we ran back outside and away from the sawmill. After going a short way, we realized we'd gone the wrong way. Just up ahead, we could see that the forest ended in a cliff. Great, now what are we gonna do? Fred asked. We ran to the edge of the cliff. We could see a winding river far below. We were trapped, and the lumberjack's ghost was right behind us. Arr! Like, bye, Scoob, old pal. Shaggy tearfully hugged Scooby Doo. It's been nice knowing you. Oh, this is dark. No, Scooby sobbed. He blew his runny nose on Shaggy's shirt. Honk. Then I spotted something that might save us. Come on, this way, I called. They're floating downstream. And the gang ran with me along the edge of the cliff. They give up really easily. Where are we going, Velma? Daphne asked me. There, I said as I pointed. I pointed. We were next to a big water trough that had been built from the old mill to the cliff. The trough led over the cliff and then tilted downward at a very steep angle. Water was rushing through the trough and down to the river a mile below. Jump, I said. We didn't have any choice. The ghost was right behind us. It reached out with its gnarled hands and was just about to grab Daphne. We jumped. Down, down, down. We slid. We went faster and faster until the rushing water was a roar in our ears. It was kind of scary, but it was kind of fun too. Whee! I hollered. I couldn't help myself. It was like a roller coaster. Oh, I love roller coasters. I knew I was like Daphne. Fred looked back up the trough. We're in luck. The lumberjack isn't coming after us. Yay! We also just fell off a cliff, Freddy, but, you know, always the optimist, sure. Like, pardon me if I don't feel that lucky, Fred, Shaggy cried. I've got the feeling our spirits are about to drop. Look, Shaggy was right. The trough suddenly ended up ahead, and the water dumped out by 50 feet to the river below. Aha! See, I guess that's what's happening now. It hasn't technically happened in the past yet. Very soon we would be dumped, too. Scooby covered his eyes. Rye can't rook. Again, it's a weird inconsistency with he says everything with an R. He gulped. The trough ended, and then we were falling. Alright, going right into Clue Keeper entry 7. Almost there, guys. Okay. Oops, I keep opening the wrong thing. Sorry. Then splash. We all struggled swimming up to the surface. When we broke water, we all took deep breaths. We made it. We quickly swam to the edge of the river to get out of the cold mountain water. Well, we're soaked to the skin, but at least that supernatural spook didn't get us, smiled Daphne. Now what? Isn't it soaked to the bone? Soaking down to your skin isn't that hard. Anyway, sorry, being pedantic. Now back to the sawmill to figure out a way to trap that ghost, Fred replied. Let's go, gang. They said, there's another clue. They said structure who in this book, guys. This is insane. Just got to Denny's. Nice. Zoinks, like no way are we gonna be able to make it, Fred, Shaggy said. We haven't eaten since breakfast and I don't have the energy. Would you be able to make it if I got you some Scooby snacks? I said, pulling out a handful of snacks from my pocket. So, is it a deal? Rhea, Scooby jumped up and down. They're kind of wet, but I started to say, ooh, soggy Scooby snacks. I almost said fruit snacks. Can you imagine? But it didn't matter. Shaggy and Scooby took the soggy treats out of my hands and gobbled them down in an instant. You guys remember in the Scooby Meets Courage, the Cowardly Dog movie, where Yeah, I always forget her name. You know, Courage's mom is like, there's just store-bought biscuits I put in the jar, the handmade Courage biscuits. It's so cute. But it didn't matter. Shaggy and Scooby took the soggy treats out of my hands and gobbled them down. Shaggy ate them too. Shaggy ate soggy dog treats. Ugh. Gobbled them down in an instant. Just then, a truck drove up the road near where we stood. It was driven by Mr. Bricks. His assistant, Clay, was in the passenger seat. Do you kids need a ride to the sawmill? Mr. Bricks asked. I don't think that was Mr. Bricks' voice. I'm just whatever. As the truck pulled to a stop, Clay frowned at us. We all piled into the back of the truck, and Mr. Bricks drove on. Fred asked Mr. Bricks about the secret tunnel, but the developer said he'd never been inside. He said he'd lost the key to the door several weeks earlier, and no one can lie to us in these books, so he's probably innocent. There were all sorts of interesting things in the back of the truck. Charts, maps, and surveying equipment, but there was one thing that seemed out of place. Look at this, I said quietly as I pointed to a box in the corner. It's a stage actor's makeup box. Well, maybe one of them's a stage actor. I opened up the box. There were all sorts of makeup. Blushes, rouge. Who says rouge anymore? And grease paint. Uh-oh. Now, why would a developer and his assistant need one of these? I wondered out loud. Huh. By this time, the truck had made it back to the old sawmill. We're here, Mr. Bricks turned to us in the back, and I'm happy to say all the protesters are gone. I guess you kids will be leaving now, right? No, sir, Fred answered. Not until we solve this mystery. We climbed out of the truck and saw Mr. Bricks was only partly right. Not all the protesters had left. Belinda Pickett was still there. Are you giving up your protest? Fred asked Belinda as Mr. Bricks and Clay walked back up to the sawmill. No way, Belinda smiled. I'm just going back to town to let some new protesters, get some new protesters to help me. This time I'll try to find ones that won't be scared by phantoms so easily. She got in her car, waved goodbye, and drove away. Oh, that's why he has a motive. The lumberjack is scaring away the protesters, which means the developer might be the bad guy. Okay, that's his motive. I get it. She got in her car, waved goodbye, and drove away. All right, gang, let's get busy, Fred said. Time to catch a ghost. Let's get down to business to defeat the ghost. Muriel, thank you. I don't know why I can never remember that. Original series tomorrow, just to stick it to the new garbage. Got pretty much all of them. A few of the unreleased new movies. I actually do like a lot of the newer Scooby Doo stuff, but not. I obviously sounds like Velma is not one for the good pile. Unfortunately, I'll probably do a video about that eventually. But then I can cover a classic one to remind us all, you know? I still haven't done Zombie Island, have I? Damn it, I keep meaning to do that. No one goes to bed early anymore. Figures. They need villains, I guess, but I haven't bought any. Interesting. Slim burger. I had burgers for dinner tonight. After 11 where I am. Yikes. Did you see the far out flashlight on page 47? Out of sight, man. Who's writing this? Jesse McCann, I have questions. You're probably a lovely person and a great writer, but that's just an interesting way to put that. It's a really important clue. Make sure you answer. It's a really important clue. Make sure you answer all the questions below in your clue keeper. What was the clue you discovered in this entry? What do you think the clue is used for? Which of the suspects do you think uses this clue? Hamburgers with hash browns, bacon, and eggs. And ooh, that sounds good. Now I'm hungry. Clue number 5? What clue number are we on? clue number 4, I guess. Clue 4 is stage makeup. Found in either, can't remember whose truck it was, KT or Clay's car. Could be used for ghosts man disguise. I am a great detective. I'm not really bringing my A game today. I'm just chilling. Why won't they take my order? I'm sorry, Patrick. I hope you get food soon. Give Patrick his food. Sorry. I hope I'm not on open mic. Give Patrick his food. Please. I know. Wait. Serving sucks, and it's a hard job, and you're all doing your best to check its baggage. Velma and Shaggy once got the only hints of fleshing out in the original series. Now they're the two nobody understands. I disagree with that. I think they're very interesting in most of the new ones, but I mean, obviously some of them fall short. And astrotize and pretend to trip and fall. Oh my god. I'll order it. That's so funny. That is hilarious. Kids are hilarious. Okay, we're like almost done. Cluekeeper entry 8. I'm pretty sure I know who the Lumberjack really is, I said. But we have to catch the culprit in the act. Here's the plan. Shaggy and Scooby will hike around the woods until the ghost comes after them. Great plan so far, Freddy. Once it starts chasing you, lead it over to the trapdoor by... Oh, we already done the Scooby Snacks thing. I was like, oh, they're not gonna like that. Trapdoor by the big tree. Will open it and cover up the opening with some thin branches. With a little luck, the Lumberjack will fall through the trapdoor into the secret passageway. That felt like a tongue twister for some reason. Fred and I will be waiting in the tunnel with this net, Daphne said. She held up a net we keep in the back of the mystery machine for emergencies. Ah, yes, your emergency net. We all have one. Just like this. For emergencies just like this. Then we'll catch it. I'll act as lookout, I said. I'll hide by the tree and let Fred and Daphne know when you boys and the creepy ghost are getting close. Bars, I think. Whoever said that? Let's do it, Fred smiled. Like, no way, Shaggy said suddenly. Why do Scoop and I always have to attract the grizzly ghoulies? Do we look like bait or something? Well, Daphne started. Didn't we already do this? But I pulled out a handful of soggy Scooby snacks. Shaggy and Scooby immediately agreed to lure the ghost in exchange for treats. They already did that. What the heck? What are you doing? Sorry. This is a book for children, but I still expect a certain standard. Soon we were in our places. Fred and Daphne under the trapdoor with the net, me behind the tree, and Shaggy and Scooby romping through the woods. Shaggy was yelling, I sure hope a scary ghost doesn't come out of the woods and eat me. Neither. Scooby shouted, a roast. With rig, rarp, wreath. Scooby pulled back. It's so, like, cumbersome to say Scooby's vocabulary. Pulled back his lips and bared his fangs horribly. The ghost really should feel embarrassed for falling for that one. Like, Scoob, let's not overdo it, okay? Really? Shaggy, come on. Shaggy said, "You're kind of creeping me out." "Rari, Raggy." A few minutes passed, and then we heard it. Arr! The lumberjack's ghost appeared through the trees and headed right at Shaggy and Scooby. They ran like the wind. The lumberjack's ghost chased them. I watched as Scooby and Shaggy led it to the tree where I was waiting. "Here they come," I called to Daphne and Fred under the trapdoor. Shaggy was in the lead. Then came Scooby. They ran past where I was hidden. The ghost ran up to the trapdoor. Oh, look, they caught him. I didn't see that one coming. Sorry. It lifted its foot over it, brought its foot down, and stepped right over the trapdoor and kept going. "Zoinks!" Shaggy cried. "Now what?" "Keep running!" I yelled. Shaggy and Scooby ran towards the sawmill. You'd think they'd have a better effectiveness rate with all the traps that they set. Shaggy and Scooby ran toward the sawmill with the ghost right behind. Daphne and Fred climbed out of the tunnel and we followed as fast as we could. In the sawmill, we found them near the machines that Cyrus had rebuilt. The ghoul was chasing Shaggy and Scooby around the log splitter. The lumberjack was gaining on them, so they leaped up on the huge circular saw platform. Suddenly, the saw was going round and round. The moving belt was edging Scooby and Shaggy right into the sharp blades. Oh, God. I looked at the nearby control panel and saw that it was the ghost who had turned the saw on. "Run, you guys!" Daphne shouted. "Get away from that saw!" "Like yikes!" cried Shaggy. He and Scooby jumped off the circular saw just in time and ran right past the ghost. The ghost lunged for them, but missed and lost its balance. It fell onto the branding machine platform. Fred immediately turned the machine on. Quick as a wink, the ghastly ghost of the lumberjack was bound up by several sturdy metal bands. "Yay, we got it done!" "Yay, we got it!" Daphne cheered. "Yes, and let's just see who it is," I said. He probably has a name." I pulled off the ghost's mask. Scooby and Shaggy were biting into another platter of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as you look up from the gang's detective journals. "Well, now you've met all the suspects," there were a lot of them, "and found all the clues." There were a lot of them, Fred says. "Do you think you can solve..." I didn't, the lot of them I said, but you know what he says the rest. Suspects found the clues. "Do you think you can solve the mystery?" You smile and say you think you can. "Terrific." Daphne says, "Here's some advice. Look at your list of suspects and clues, then answer the questions. Who do you think had a good reason to scare people away from the sawmill?" Velma asks. "Second, who do you think had the know-how to scare people away from the sawmill?" Fred asks. "Third, who do you think had the opportunity to scare people away from the sawmill?" Daphne asks. "Motive means opportunity, y'all." "See if you can eliminate any of the suspects first," Velma suggested. "Then, using all the information you've collected, as well as your own smarts, try to figure out who the lumberjack's ghost really is. Jinkies, it's time for you to guess who done it. You think you know who it is? When you're ready, look at the next page and discover the ending of the case of the lost lumberjack." Night Mod's watching. Oh, God. That's pretty deserted here. I just walked in. Like Kramer on Seinfeld, you slid in. Pretty quiet where I am. It's pretty quiet here. I think I'm the only person up in the house right now. I might be undercover. Just realized after I eat, it's another 30 minutes back to my house. Should have thought that through. Oh no. I'm sad about. Oh, that's sad. We need Maddie, Anton or Natasha, commentary on Australian TV or movie of some kind. Popular or obscure, lol. Yeah, we do. Kellen, alright. I've been catching up with my roommates for most of the book. Who we think it is. I've probably Clay, just because he gives me that vibe, but I have no idea. Hi, Katie. I'm usually late to these lives. I don't pay attention to the YouTube notification. That's fine. I mean, this one was very impromptu. I just kind of was like, I feel like reading a Scooby Doo book. No, 2 Scooby Doo books, and then I did. We're right at the end, Katie, but you're always welcome, like usual, to go back and watch the VOD. They're always going to be available. You guys mentioned a few times. Yeah, that should be interesting if we can do that at some point. Thought I'd meet producer of The Godfather, much less. Yeah, I'm glad you got to do that. All right, ready, guys? Let's see who it is. 1, 2, 3. Move that bus or move that vehicle. What did they say? Who? Mr. Bricks and his assistant Clay were behind the whole. Oh, it was 2 of them. That's interesting. Well, I said either one of them before when I was writing down the 4th clue. Clay would dress up like the ghoul. Mr. Bricks and his assistant Clay were behind the whole Lumberjack's ghost mystery. Velma explains. Clay would dress up like the ghoul to frighten away tourists and protesters. Once they were gone, the ghosts would have stopped making appearances. You know that our other 2 suspects were Belinda Pickett, the protester, and Cyrus Tinker, the handyman, Daphne adds. But that doesn't make any sense, because then they're scaring away their own business, if that's the logic. But Belinda wouldn't want to scare anyone away, especially protesters, Velma comments. Cyrus Tinker seemed too proud of the old mill, but that doesn't... Okay. To want to keep tourists away, Fred says. Plus, he had false teeth, and whoever was masquerading as the ghost was cooking meat in the forest? What is this? What is this logic, man? Meat that a person with false teeth couldn't eat. But we know Clay liked to camp outside, Mr. Bricks told us. Velma continued. He was the likely one to build the barbecue pit in the woods, and the scrap of material hanging on the branch near the barbecue pit matched the ghost's clothing perfectly. What clinched it for us was the makeup case in the back of Mr. Brick's truck, Fred smiles. If it had everything Clay would need to make himself up to look like a scary ghost. Once the protesters and tourists were gone, the ghost would become a distant memory. After a while, the workers would forget about the ghost and start tearing down the sawmill and cutting down the trees, Velma concludes. Soon enough, there would have been a new town where the sawmill stands. All the Mystery Inc. gang are now looking at you. So how did you do? Daphne asks. I'll bet you solved the mystery like a pro, Velma smiles. You're pretty smart. I'll tell you what was really smart when they declared the old sawmill a historical monument, Fred says. Now it will never be torn down. Yay, good for it. Like, even smarter was when old Cyrus added a gift shop, Shaggy grinned. A gift shop with lots and lots of candy bars. That is a smart business move. Rum. Rocklet, nods Scooby. Or maybe he just likes rum. We've already talked about this. You get up to go. Come back and visit us again, Velma says. There are always plenty of mysteries that need solving, and like always plenty of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to munch, Shaggy says. Right, Scoob, old pal? Ruby, Ruby, Roo. Scooby cheers in full agreement. The end. We did it. Move that bus. I think Natasha should react to the gift. Ooh, that's interesting. I'll have to get her. We still need to do the last 2 episodes of Whodunit, I'm just realizing. Not just realizing, but thinking about again. Logic from a made-for-kids Scooby Doo book. I know, but that's no excuse. My thing with kids media is you can't just throw it together haphazardly and be like, they're kids. That doesn't teach them critical thinking skills. The other side of the world enjoying the winter. Oh, is it super hot today? See, I hate the winter and I can't wait for it to start getting warm again. It's been freezing. Well, freezing for us here. No, it's actually been below freezing. It's been legitimately pretty cold. Everybody prefers winter except for me. I get cold very easily. I'm just not like the other girls. Okay. Well, let me log this as read. I'm also gonna, once I get off, gonna add, because somebody only entered in half of the description on the back. So I'm probably gonna fix that. We finished this book. Congratulate us, Goodreads. All right, I will let you guys go. Thank you for hanging out with me on very short notice. I appreciate you as always. Oh gosh, Patrick, you're gonna be fine. You're fine. Oh gosh, Patrick, be safe, please. Everybody be safe. 27 degrees equals 79 degrees. It's like 27 degrees here, which equals 27 degrees Fahrenheit, which is very cold. Ruby, Ruby, Roo, indeed. Perhaps the most honest words in literature. Truly moving for the soul. Yep. Thank you guys for all being here. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to everybody. I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Maddie and I obviously have a new Kingdom Hearts stream coming up, but I will see you guys then. Until next time, I'll see you when I see you. Thanks, guys. You're the best. Good night.